Enjoy.
Sky's the limit, baby.
BoxingVoice.com.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
¡Viva México!
Canelo wants to unify all the titles.
When did you realize, Andy, that you could take his power?
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so talking about the Mexican style, I just proved it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game to see the boxing boys.
Good morning, TBV, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another morning edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. It is fight week. Today is Wednesday, and we've got fighter arrivals out the way. We're probably going to get ourselves a good old media workout, if not an undercard, press conference, something. But PBC put out some good content this week, and we wanted to discuss it to, I guess, give further credibility to what it is Earl Spence Jr. And Shawn Porter are doing in this welterweight unification. Premier Boxing Champions put out an article giving a lot of facts about welterweight unifications, how rare they are, and I guess the last or the best top four of the last 20, 40 years or so. It's a look back at four of the biggest 147-pound world title unification bouts. Since we're going to be discussing champions Earl Spence and Shawn Porter, who are preparing to make their own history, we'll take a look back at other welterweights that made history, just to see how big of a thing this is, I'm interested to see how many points BoxRec gives Earl for this, right? Because, man, I was checking, and you get a lot of points for clearing out a division. Shout out to Crawford. But, yes, this is what we're going to be talking about this morning. If you're interested, you know the number to call in, which is 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Once again, we will be taking a look back at four of the biggest 147-pound welterweight world title unification bouts since Earl Spence and Shawn Porter will be unifying the division. We are trying to see how important this is, how big of a feat it is, and, what other fighters have done what these two men are trying to achieve. So, once again, the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1. Don't forget, add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. Let's go out to my co-hosts in
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and most vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. Get up!
BoxingVoice.com.
Cheers! Good morning, everyone. We back at it again here with Mike Ross, the boss, El Capitan, Nestor Gibbs. If you're on your way to work, turn us up, help you through that traffic. And if you're on your way back home, hey, we'll get you as long as you're up until you pass out. And we back at it with the Spence and Porter talk. It's going down. Going down, and like Ness said, it's been only 11 welterweight unifications in the last 40 years, and we'll probably run down a few of them, a couple of them. There's been a lot of them, but we're gonna just concentrate on these, and if anybody else wants to throw some in there, we're gonna throw some in there. But it is a feat to accomplish in a boxer's career, so let's get to it.
DBLC Production.
BoxingVoice.com.
So when I stop him, y'all gonna say he was too weak. Oh my, he's
accept whatever consequences come behind it.
BoxingVoice.com. Yo. Good morning to everybody out there in the TBV universe. Back with another one. And yeah, man, Welterweight Unification. Earl Spence, Shawn Porter. And like this, man, this shit happens far and few in between. The last one I can think off the top of my head, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, fucking Floyd Mayweather. Did Floyd have a belt at the time? Or was it just a big fight? But anyway, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray, the list doesn't go on and on. But yeah, man, we'll talk about all that, break it down, and get into it. Good morning to everybody out there in TBV universe.
Buenos dias. So I want to throw the ball to Alex, who sounds like he did some research and is going to educate us, because I didn't know there was 11. I'm going based off the article, which seemed interesting, but if you can add your own spice to it, do so. Take it away, champ. So you're saying there's 11 unifications have taken place in the welterweight division?
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, the 11th welterweight title unifier in boxing history. The
11th.
Yeah, the 11th.
Okay.
So
name a few of the others that you're talking about. Start backwards, I guess, from the most recent. You have a list, or is this off the top of your dome piece?
No, it's off the top of the dome piece. But I looked over at some of the ones in the article, and I'm already interested in the Sugar Ray versus Thomas Hearns. That was a fight where the two had an emotional lead up to that fight. And they really brawled it out. De La Hoya versus Tito.
I watched that, man. That's my era. Like, I came up and I got to watch that fight.
That's about 21 years ago. Ain't that shit crazy?
Really? Is it that long?
Yeah, about 20 years ago, brother.
Holy fuck.
Happened in 99, so yeah, about 20 years ago.
99. Oh, yes. Yeah, so I definitely, bro, I was 19.
Yeah, we was young boys.
Kid, young boys, man. I watched that shit live. I was very upset, but I don't want to spoil it. So basically, you're not adding anything new. You're talking about the ones that we are going based off the article, or do you know some other ones? Mike, come on, you're a fucking thinking tank full of information. What welterweight bouts do you know? And don't mention Danny Thurman, because the article mentioned that one as well.
Okay, I know I mentioned that. I mentioned the fucking Sugar Ray and what's called. Let me see.
They also mentioned that one. All right, I'm gonna knock out there so we don't keep cheating. They mentioned Mayweather Pacquiao. They mentioned Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns. They mentioned Danny Garcia versus Keith Thurman, and they mentioned Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. Those are the only ones they mentioned. They're saying this is the big four. I'm asking the boxing fan, because I'm not a history guy, what other welterweight unifications are out there that we're overlooking or that need to be mentioned? Not overlooking, need to be mentioned. Again, we don't claim to be historians over here on TBV, but we have an unlimited of listeners and callers that can definitely fill those voids anytime they call in and give us the factual information. Like, a guy like Troy, instead of saying, hey, you should watch history, you should teach us your history. Teach us. But yeah, maybe a Google search will help. In the meantime, I'm going to take it from the top. And we look like we're going to start welterweight unification, the best of the best. So obviously there's more based off the title. There's others out there, but this is the quote-unquote best of the best.
Oh, yeah, I found this shit now.
There's only been a handful of welterweight title unification bouts in the long history of boxing, but it turns out that on September, a popular month for the rare event, the 11th welterweight title unifier in boxing history will be added to the record books on Saturday, September 28th, when the undefeated Earl "The Truth" Spence Jr. and Showtime Shawn Porter face off at the Staples Centers in Los Angeles. The highly anticipated showdown is aired on PBC on Fox Sports pay-per-view at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and has all the makings of the Fight of the Year candidate. Now, That being said, I did see some things that these ticket sales are slightly struggling, and they lowered the prices from the 100 bowl seats down to like 75, which is good if you're a boxing fan and you were holding out. Canadian Jose preaches all the time to wait last minute to buy your tickets right there because you always get a good deal. That being said, another interesting fact, if you can just double check me here on this, was any Leonard, all right, not Leonard, all right, somebody on this list, right? Somebody,
I got some. So what you need? I got all of them.
Okay.
Mike Tyson was in the new.
No.
Let's
Welterweights
start with,
only.
Most recent history.
Welterweights only.
Floyd Mayweather and Marcos Maidana.
That was a unification?
Yeah, Marcos Maidana had the
WBA. He took it from Broner. That's true.
He had WBA regular, but not the super. Floyd had the super already, so it wasn't really unification.
That ain't no unification.
Yeah, we got
Corey Spence
and Ricardo Mayorga.
At welterweight, that was unification. What belt? What belt?
IBF, and Mayorga had the WBA and WBC.
Okay, that's valid. Listen, quick tidbit, bro. When Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns fought for the first time, both undefeated, only 2 belts existed, WBC and WBA. Crazy, yo. When did Mendoza go wrong? Was it his father that was running shit good and then he came along and ruined it?
You gotta realize though, the WBA is like the original belt. Like it was the first one of its kind.
It's not the real one. I mean, everybody knows it. Every single fighter says the same exact words, like they've been programmed, like they've been downloaded the phrase. The WBC is the coveted belt. Everybody wants the WBC, most prestigious, but everybody uses the same words and everything. I'm not saying it, it's the fighters saying it. But
we got some more. Let's start with the first one, man. Jack Fields and Joe Dundee back in 1929. So big up to the old man. And then it took damn near 60 years. Damn yeah.
Yo, y'all lucky I ain't find this soundbite. Jack Fields. Who the fuck is Jack Fields?
I don't know, but it took 52 years for another one, and that's when we all seen with Sugar Ray and Thomas Hearns.
Oh my God! So there's not that many then.
Then we got Donald Curry and Milton McCourt.
Yo, shout out to Troy. Always talking about Donald Curry, right?
And they unified.
He always talking about Mike McCallum.
IBF and WBA. Damn, WBA had 2 belts in 1985. Damn. The next one is Simon Brown and Maurice Blocker, 1991.
I never heard of Simon Brown, but I feel like I've heard of Maurice Blocker. That name sounds like it's a fighter, right?
Yes, sir.
Knock your block off.
You got Trinidad and De La Hoya, which we all know. Then you got Mayorga and Vernon Forrest.
Oh, yes. That was an upset, right? Mayorga beat Forrest.
Okay. I don't have the what's called.
I believe so. Let me look it up, but I believe so.
And that's the last one.
Vernon Forrest.
I know they had Pernell Whitaker and Oscar De La Hoya too. I don't know if they was fighting for a belt though, or I don't know if it was a unification.
So Vernon Forrest definitely lost to Ricardo Mayorga. That's what I'm saying. The upset.
Okay.
Remember, Forrest was coming off the 2 Mosley wins and then turned around and lost to Mayorga. That's why De La Hoya and Fernando Vargas and they all fought this dude because at that time he was hot. Even though he never took his career seriously, he was hot. He was able to get fans with the whole smoking into the ring. He didn't look as sloppy as he looks now. Back then, he was a welterweight. He was in shape, and he could punch. Mayorga could, but it was an upset, definitely. So getting back to the article, let me see if I can find the author here. It's by Bob Villen. The other tidbit I wanted to say, I believe one of these welterweights that we're going to speak of were also 25-0, similar to Spence. And obviously, Hearns and Leonard were 30-0 when they met. Well, actually, Leonard had one loss already to Duran when he met Thomas, but they were in the 30s and O's and 30 and 1 and 0, you know. And Porter's up there with 30 and 2, you know, and one draw with 17 KOs, and he also has the WBC belt. So, you know, this fight between Earl and Porter is being right up there with history, but it's funny because Thurman and Garcia are put in that same category because of what they were able to do. But luckily, I woke up early this morning. I was able to watch the Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns fight. Did you guys have a chance to watch it, or obviously, you know, you probably woke up too late, right?
Yeah, I don't think I never seen it before.
I've caught that fight in the past.
Pretty interesting fight. Especially when you consider that Leonard ended up knocking out Hearns in the 14th round, which sounds so foreign right now. But when the fight first started, I'm like, what the fuck? Leonard is going to lose this because he's just like moving so much. And I can't help but want to say out loud, like, damn, and y'all say Floyd be running. You know what I'm saying? But there was no one to say it to. I'm in my bedroom. And I'm watching this shit, and it's just like, he moved a lot, but it was all strategic. It's funny, too, because Hearns was in the corner with Emmanuel Stewart, so that was the best version of Hearns you were going to get, you know, and Leonard was still able to knock him out in the 14th, bro. After giving away, man, I want to say at least the first 3, maybe 4 rounds, just gave him away. Didn't do enough. And boy, these dudes didn't like each other. I don't know. Doomy brought it up, but I didn't do any of the fact checking or history on if there was some sort of beef. But I promise you,
Leonard was a golden child. Nobody liked the fucking golden child, right?
Yeah, they did mention that on the telecast. They were saying like, you know, that Hearns is kind of in Leonard's shadow, and even though Hearns is undefeated and Leonard has the loss, they still give Leonard more clout. But yo, there was like dirty tactics, like every round after the bell for at least the first 3 to 4 rounds, maybe even 5, they were hitting each other after the bell consistently. And then like, you know, doing like, you know, faces at each other, you know, like sticking their tongue out and, oh, you hit me after the bell, I'm faking like my legs hurt, and then turn around like, you can't punch. Like, it was pretty dope, this fight. And they was banging. You know what? Yo, Leonard, damn. It's crazy because he was using something as simple as the 1-2-3, but for him, I guess it worked because of his height. So when he would shoot the 1-2, not Leonard, I meant to say Hearns. When he would shoot the 1-2, Leonard would duck down. That 3 was destroying him to the body, destroying him. And sometimes he was bringing that shit up like an all-you-can uppercut. It would have hit him in the chest or the chin. I mean, damn, bruh. Hearns was a little beast, too. He had a chip on his shoulder. It was funny, too, to hear him introduced as the Motor City Cobra. So shout out to Anthony Edwards from Cincinnati, the Queen City Cobra. I see you paying some homage to the champ. Yeah, man.
And you know what I can appreciate?
What's that?
Nestor Gibbs going back and giving these guys credit. Paying homage to these guys. Actually going back and saying you were entertained by the fight. Not some old good dudes in there throwing sloppy punches, going all slow. They're too skinny. No, you're actually entertained.
Yeah, but this is the 80s, dog. I'm born in this era. I ain't throwing away this. I'm talking about history I wasn't born in. There's no fight footage of. All we got is newspaper clippings. Times when minorities didn't have a say. So you think I'm gonna believe the words of a reporter that probably was being coerced by his editor? Like, chill, champ.
We watched Marvelous Marvin and Sugar Ray. All right, go back and listen to that film study.
Word. Nah, but Hearns was always.
You wasn't like this, dog. You want this guy to be motivated and excited.
Nah, because he sat down and watched it. That's what it is.
But maybe this fight was just technically. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This fight was entertaining. It was strange though. I'm not like I said. The first four. It was Hearns bringing the pain, and he. I mean, don't get me wrong. He was bringing the pain for a long time, almost to like the first half, and then he got caught, and shit changed. But
he got outgassed.
Let me bring in, I mean, shit, 15 rounds, bro. That shit was retarded.
What's up, man? Yeah, I just want to say I saw the fight too.
Stay focused, stay working my jab. Like boxing voice.
Because if he comes to fight, then I'm gonna have to look for him, man.
I saw the fight too.
I think you accurate.
Yes, good morning.
Bueno,
Spence versus Porter. Yes. I hear you guys talking about Hearns, Sugar Ray. That was the top. That was brought up yesterday as a rematch never happened. But Spence versus Porter's the welterweight unification. It is fight week. The best of the best breakdown. What does that mean? I'm trying to figure out the topic here. Champ is here indeed. Thank you.
I mean, we breaking down the I guess the entire meaning of unification in the welterweight division, how important it is, how few have done it. I mean, we're talking right now of legendary first ballot names like Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas the Hitman Hearns. You know, these are two guys from the 80s, the golden era, as, our fathers would like to call it. This was the welterweight division when all these guys really fought each other, you know. Hall of Famers like Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Robert Duran, Wilfredo Benitez. Those were the alleged cream of the crop.
Ooh, this is a hard topic for me. I just got to sit back and learn from this one because
not necessarily because this hasn't been done. There are unifications in the welterweight division that took place in your era with the fighters that you do know. This is just one of the fights that took place. There was a 50-50 fight in everyone's eyes that maybe you didn't go back and see. But maybe you should, right? It took place in Las Vegas at the Caesars Palace. It was, Emmanuel Stewart in the corner, Tommy the Hitman Hearns. He was a freakishly tall dude. Like, we had our own as well, but Paul Williams didn't. He was robbed of the opportunity of his greatness due to a motorcycle accident. But, Hitman was 6'1" in the welterweight division. He actually weighed 145 pounds for the Leonard fight. But a fight and an era that you're...
145 or 147?
145.
Wow.
Yeah, he came in underweight, and people thought that was going to affect him. And who knows? He did get knocked out in the end of the fight. Maybe it did affect him to come in so low. They didn't give a fight night weight, so we don't know what he ballooned up to. But fights that you do know, fighters that you are more familiar with, and a unification that I'm sure as a Puerto Rican that grew up in Newark, you heard the car horns and all the wepas throughout, North Newark.
Trinidad era.
Whenever
Trinidad
Felix, Tito, Trinidad fought. And when Trinidad did fight, he made history. I didn't agree with the outcome, and we can discuss it for those that watched it. But I'm talking about Felix Tito Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. This took place in 1999. I was in high school. Actually out of high school at this point. This is 99, so I was maybe 19, 18, something like that. And listen, Trinidad's record was 35-0 with 30 KOs. De La Hoya was 31-0 with 26 KOs. And I want to stop you right there and just take that in for a moment. Understand who Oscar De La Hoya was, a gold medalist, a dude that for this particular fight, we're going to find out this kid made like $29 million, $25 million. You know what I'm saying? And he's fighting Trinidad at 31-0, and Trinidad's fighting him at 35-0. But we, as boxing fans now, who have been given the luxury of social media, which allows us our voice to be heard, we are spoiled. We like, no, we want it now. Think about it. Porter's fighting Earl at 25-0. Keith Ben did that with Danny already, and so on and so on, with lower fights on their resume than this. And then legendary fighters like Hearns and Hagler. I mean Hearns and Leonard, who fought at 30-1 and 21 and 32 and 30. You know what I'm saying? So that means these dudes were well into their career and not fighting each other when they finally fought each other. But people like to call into this show and tell us how, in the golden era, the best used to fight the best. Shut the fuck up. Because it looks to me like it took longer for them.
This ain't the golden era though.
It is the golden era.
It go further back. They talking about the way back in the day.
No. The early 80s were the golden era of the welterweight division.
We in the platinum era, right?
I mean,
I don't know.
We in our.
Are you saying you saying Keith Thurman did it with Danny in with a less record?
But then people will turn around and say that Danny Garcia's never gonna be Thomas the Hitman Hearns or a Sugar Ray Leonard, right? So they're gonna say
he's
these
Danny
fighters,
Garcia.
Exactly,
Danny
but that's what
Garcia
I'm
with
saying.
that left hook.
But that's what I'm saying, because people don't like to let these fighters create their legacy. They already comparing them to these people, like we're doing right now due to this article. This is what they do. They want to tie nostalgia into boxing to bring back the old boxing fan. That's what they think they're doing, I guess. I don't know.
Now,
I don't know.
Now, you were saying that it took Hearns and Sugar Ray a long time to fight each other?
Not a long time. I'm just saying the numbers are they fought when they both had over 31 fights.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
They saw
and
it.
Keith did it with Danny sooner. Keith did it with even though Porter didn't have a title, but Keith did it with Danny sooner. And now Earl's doing it with Porter sooner, And I bet you Floyd and Pacquiao did it later, right? Floyd and Pacquiao, how old were they? They were 47-0 and 52-5-2. You know what I'm saying? So, our welterweights, this generation, they want all the smoke. They fighting early in their career. They're not waiting to be 30-0. They not. Earl isn't Oscar De La Hoya fighting Trinidad and making $29 million. You know what I'm saying? It's the difference. These dudes want that smoke now.
This is true. I'm going to agree with you. I'm seeing a lot of the younger fighters now in this era just wanting to get in there and get their shot. Some haven't had success. Others, we're yet to see them. But the numbers are low, man. Numbers are low for this wave of fighters now in this millennia.
And for Crawford fans, hey, he's right on the money. He's 31 years old, and what he got, 32 fights, Mike?
He got like 30. He got like 33 or 34. Now, I'm looking at my nigga Sugar Ray now.
He lost to Duran before, so it ain't like he ain't try to be great.
Okay, I was just making sure.
But still, it's still in the same 30 fights, right?
He rematched him.
Yeah. Still,
that's what I'm saying.
First title.
And that's all I preach. People say, Ness, you need to go back and watch history. Well, I'm actually somehow in tune with it because that's all I want from my fighters. Ain't no rush. You can have 30 fights. Nah, right now, this is the era of, he's 15-0. He should be fighting Gennady Golovkin. It's like, calm down. Let my man develop.
Well, also, now, I don't know how it was back then. But now you have, fights brewing early, like for a Shakur and a Haney and a Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? So these fights, it's either the fighter is more boisterous now at a young record, to brew the big fight, and the promoter helps nurture that so that the fans follow that being a possibility, so that we get another Mayweather Pacquiao. You know what I mean? I think that's happening now. It's more business. Everybody wants the big piece of the pie, the fighter as well as the promoter.
All I'm saying is I need people to stop calling in and giving me the golden era or the back in the day. Fighters used to fight the best back in the day. Oscar didn't do this back in the day. When Oscar got motherfucking 31 fights before he fought Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? You don't
drive using the rear view mirror. You drive looking through the windshield.
Exactly. They want us to consistently look back, and it's cool. You learn shit. Like I went back and I was able to appreciate, some of the shit that Leonard did. But easily I was also able to associate it with some of the hate that Mayweather gets. Like you watch that Leonard and Hearns fight, and it's like, my man got the wheels of Algieri, Thurman, and Floyd mixed in one.
But check it, right? Are we looking at those numbers and not translating them correctly? Because from what I know is that I know back in the day these fighters were fighting more often. So
good point.
Who are we talking about specifically?
I mean, you could talk about the era of Sugar Ray and Hearns.
So we going with Sugar Ray because we got to use BoxRec. We ain't from that era. Somebody else will call in knowing this information, but I got to use BoxRec to. understand what years we talking about.
Sugar Ray won his first title at 25-0 when he fought Wilfred Benitez.
And there you go. Now that's some Earl Spence shit, right? But
It sound like a lot like
check it out. But check it out.
Well,
no, it's not. No, it's not. Because Earl's 25-0 right now, about to unify. You talking about Leonard getting his first title at 25? You talking about Earl went to another country and did it first, faster. This is what I'm saying.
25 years old or 25?
No, fights.
Okay.
Fights. If you Google Earl, I guarantee you he got his belt way before 25 fights.
Hey, Keith Thurman, talking about fights often, right? Keith Thurman in 2008 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights. And in 2009 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights. In 2010, 3. And that's when, and then he wasn't active for 2 years, and he fought in 2012.
He got that injury. He was out. But yeah, man. I mean, look, can't take nothing away from them. That's why I went back and did the research, watched the fight. Great fighter as well. I mean, I watched some of his amateur shit because that's always been on YouTube. But I never really sat down through this fight until this morning, throwing a cup of coffee. And I like Ray, but I'ma just keep it Jeezy. I like Floyd better, especially defensively. I mean, Hearns was landing shit on Ray all day. Floyd is a dude that don't get touched, and that's all I keep saying. And I'm preaching. And maybe someone else, or maybe I watch another film and it's gonna be like, oh damn, this dude would definitely knock out my dude from this generation. But so far, it's like, if we talk about welterweights, man, Floyd just still looking like the best welterweight to me.
Yeah, he the least to get hit for sure. And in the Ray Leonard era,
accuracy. He ain't wasting punches, dude. These dudes throwing punches. They ain't even landing. Floyd is staying there and it's like, bam, here you go. That shit landed.
Yeah. I mean, it was a different type of style of fighting. I mean, Ray Leonard took a lot more chances in the ring. And it's also the type of people he was facing and how they were brought to him. Mayweather had a good game plan with his team around him and everybody looking out for him and doing the right thing. I don't know if everybody was, was privy to that in those days where Ray Leonard was around.
We getting some information in the chat. I hate to cut you off, just as important for context. Benitez was 21 according to All Day Dre. That says Benitez was 21 with the belt. And Leonard fought Benitez at age 23.
Hey, so Keith Thurman fought 7 times, and I'm looking at Tommy Hearns in 1978. He fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fights in 78. That's almost a fight every month. So I guess, they did. No, but I'm saying it's more active. We was just saying about their records, like that's being 35 and 0. Of course,
but that's the thing. You could be more active in that era. You know why? Because it's like there's no TV. You're not bound by TV. So some of them fights probably wasn't even on TV. But now fighters are contracted to television, so they can't fight if they ain't no TV date.
I'm looking at the early part. I compared Hearns early with Thurman's early. You know what I'm saying? Thurman has 7 fights in 2009.
No,
7 fights.
I guess.
Yeah, they were. That's why those numbers translate like that. That's why you're looking at the 30 and 26 and
fighting the best.
Yeah, fighting. But they was fighting a lot more often, man. A lot more often.
Towards the end, I guess because the rules and the safety, I think the times changed. How active you can be as on pro level.
Well, I mean, even now on a pro level, if you ain't hurt, you could go back in the ring after 2 weeks. But let's get back into this Felix Tito Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. This was a
real quick, Ness. Who you thought won that fight?
I mean, I thought that Oscar won the fight, but he took the last 3 rounds off, bro. He thought he had it in the bag, even though Trinidad was just chasing Oscar around the ring for the last 3, not really being effective. Oscar was still being a boxer. I feel that Oscar was robbed. Trinidad got the win, never gave him the rematch.
But he got the majority decision. That means all 3 judges.
Of course, I
thought Trinidad won.
You got to watch the fight, Enrique. He took the last
3
rounds off. He just.
I remember.
He was dancing on his back foot the whole fight.
Nah, he was just avoiding. He was just avoiding. It's not even dancing. It's not even boxing. It was avoiding. But
that turned the judges off.
Pop shot. He was pop shotting at the end, like pop shot, move to the side, pop shot, move to the other side. Like the whole fight, Tito was putting pressure on him.
That's only 3 rounds, bro. He only took off for 3.
From the beginning, he was on his back foot. Tito had a pressure on him the whole fight, man. I don't know how people saw this guy fighting, but then it goes on to the style of judging. You know what kind of style of judging you had.
Google majority decision. You wrong.
So what? I said majority decision.
Yeah, but your man said the definition, that's wrong.
What definition?
One of y'all said majority decision is all 3 judges, right?
Yeah, I said that.
I didn't say that.
It's definitely not all 3 judges.
Well, I'm sorry. They had a tie. They had a draw. They had one scorecard. It was 114-114. And then it was 115-114. And then 115-113.
No.
I'm looking right at it, bro.
Majority decision is one judge has it a draw. The other 2 judges have it for one person. A split decision is one judge have it for one person. The other 2 judges have it for the other person.
Right. Well, that's what has it here. There's 1 draw and then 2 judges for Tito.
Okay, that's exactly right.
Majority decision.
Yep. Sorry about that, Cass.
That's okay. And then they both were 26 at the time. How old is Earl Spence and Showtime Porter?
29 and probably 30. 29.
Right. So
they had more fights, but they just did a little bit younger. That's all.
They had, and they also had more fights under their belt. But again, they were more active. They might have had 5 fights a year, whereas now 3 fights is a lot. 4 is you pushing it.
Word, man. I wish.
And the money was better back then, right? Too, like with the paper, like it wasn't no way to get pay-per-views without buying them, right?
I mean, there was always illegal streaming because we had the black box back then.
Damn, remember the black box?
We had the black box, baby. You couldn't, and the black box. Oh my God, the black box. I'm telling you, the black box, bruh. Porn was on the black box like cray. Yo, but
heavy.
Speaking of the numbers, De La Hoya. The fight shattered the pay-per-view record for a non-heavyweight fight at the time. With 1.4 million bahs, De La Hoya earned nearly $25 million for his 36 minutes in the ring, while Trinidad was paid a little more than $10 million. ASA shit.
A milli. And that was a Bob Arum top-rank fight.
No, Bob Arum... Don King, and it was the famous grudge match Mexico versus Puerto Rico con la mano arriba.
But that shit's so good to hear.
Dog, that shit was going through Newark streets, bro. Puerto Ricans went crazy.
It was a parade. It was a parade
at like midnight, bro. Everybody with a back then. Everybody who was Puerto Rican had a Toyota Corolla .8. It was 1.8 liter engine, and they all called, instead of calling it a Toyota Corolla, everybody just like, yo tengo un .8, bye. Tengo un .8.
Papi.
Oye, bye, tú vas a ver que De La Hoya va a perder. High true. En verdad que sí.
Mamabicho.
How you gonna fuck up Anuel's motherfucking soundbite, yo? That shit sounded like a straight what's my man Birdman bird call and shit.
But what's some West shit? How does he do his shit?
He's like it's BR. It's more like brr.
It's like you cold.
Yeah.
You cold. Brr.
Yeah.
Brr.
He cold because of the ice, dog.
He
cool because of the ice he got on, champ. You seen him on a halftime game. Everybody watching football is like, who the fuck is this dude? The Takeover. That's who.
What's up with them Grammys, though, bro? What's up with them Grammys?
They disrespectful when the Latinos make up like $1 billion of all download music shares. They disrespectful. But it's
Man,
all
we don't
right.
respect the Grammys, man.
Yo, how they got? I don't know,
Bro,
man.
how you gonna have a Latin Grammy with no Anuel?
With no reggaeton?
Whoa. They had a Latin Grammy?
Yeah, it's always been Latin Grammys,
it's
champ.
always
With
been
no
Latin
one will, though?
With no end. Yo,
he didn't even get a
he
nomination.
ain't even get
Well, they-
nominated. He ain't even get nominated. They disrespecting. They want him to come through and spray shit. They did. Yo, matter of fact, Bad Bunny ain't even win one. They said. How Bad Bunny ain't win one?
What about Mike Towers? He
Yo,
killing
come on,
it.
you left field, bro. You like what is you genre you talking about?
Mike Towers.
And the will
Mike
without
Towers
the
is reggaeton, man. He breaking it. Oh, y'all don't even heard. Y'all never heard of Mike Towers?
Mike
y'all-
Towers, man. You wild.
Mike Towers, yo.
Bruh.
You heard of Mike Towers?
That sound like a nigga that I don't even know.
Bruh, you wilding right now.
Mike Towers.
Bro, I can tell y'all in the
Yo,
past.
you
bro.
gonna press on.
His name ain't spelled like Mike's. It's Myke. So
yeah, Mike
Towers.
Towers. You know what I'm talking about, right?
So it's
Yeah,
Mikey.
Michael Antonio Solis.
So it's Mikey.
Michael.
Mikey
Nah,
Towers.
they say it. You know how they be like Mike Towers.
Man, he a
You know how they be
producer.
saying? Come on,
Yeah, he
man.
young, man. He 25. He wanted to do it.
Bruh, don't mention that nigga name with fucking Anuel and Bad Bunny. You disrespectful as hell right now.
Daddy Yankee.
Yo, you see,
Dog,
you see what
they-
we doing, right?
look-
we talking
look
about
at-
no. Let me
go
bring
to
it back.
his box
Let me
rack.
bring it
Go
back.
to
We
his
talking
box
about
rack.
Earl and
Mike
Porter
Towers.
unifying just like other greats. You talking about Mike Towers? Mike Towers ain't Bad Bunny or Anuel.
Yo, Mike Towers and jumped on Mike Towers' tracks. That's how hot Mike Towers is right now on the streets.
You mean Mike Towers paid for a feature? Stop playing, champ.
Yo, all I'm gonna tell you, when you
Stop
find
playing.
Mike Towers' playlist, you gonna be like, yo,
Hey,
repeat.
yo, is it Tower
Is
or Towers?
he on the top Billboard?
Is it Tower
Yeah.
or Towers? Because it's two of them.
Top Billboard song with Faruko, yo.
Yo, you clipping.
Oh yeah. El final del principio. I think it's a number 12.
You
Let me
clipping. You
see.
clipping. You can't get that excited. Hey, Enrique, is it with an S or R at the end? Towers or
It's
Tower?
Tower, Mike Tower.
S. With the
Because they
S
got
on
two
it.
on iTunes. He got an S and a R.
Nah, but there's one
My
dude that
man
ain't
changed
real.
his name. Oh, Casablanca Records.
Nah, I don't know.
I want to touch on the fact that we are lucky because these fights like this, man, a unification between two of the top welterweights don't really happen a lot, man. I know we've been screaming for the Terrence Crawford fight. We've been screaming for Manny Pacquiao to fight one of these guys afterwards. So we gotta be really, really thankful that we're giving Earl Spence and Shawn Porter, two guys who are willing to put their titles on the line and get in there with each other. I know people
But,
like, oh, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been preaching. That our generation, I put our generation versus any generation because of that. Like, look, this is the second one. People were so busy telling us how the golden era was happening. Well, we having two. We having two in less than 2 years. This is the
It
second
might
one.
be even four, bro. Let's be like, since you've been doing this boxing shit, Maidana had a regular title. I'm sorry. Pacquiao and Floyd, Keith Thurman and Danny, and now you got three. Like we've seen three in the last 5 years,
And
right?
that's why I love my era.
And I just want the fans to know, like, I know, man, and that's what I want to get to. Why the fuck is there so much Shawn Porter hate and disdain?
Nah, it's because
Shawn Porter out here in the media.
It's because there's a lot of Errol love. That always happens. Like, you always get more fans for one, and then fans are so mean, bro. Pacquiao fans.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I can understand the love for Earl. Like, we all like Earl. Earl's a damn good fighter. He's one of the best in the division, maybe even the best in the sport. But just because you love Earl don't mean you disrespect, denigrate, and just throw Shawn Porter and his team under the bus. Like, why?
Nah, you know, can I
see it
say
happen all the time, man.
Yeah, it's the matchup. Whoever, if Earl Spence, if Shawn Porter, when he fought Danny, they were praising Shawn. You know what I'm saying? And hating on Danny.
And hating on Danny because Danny was the
Exactly.
cherry picker. So now the cherry picker gonna get his due, his just deserve. You know. And now it's the
Right.
same thing. It's like,
So now it's Earl.
you finally fighting Earl. You was scared. You ain't want to fight Earl. It ain't make sense. You wanted Thurman. You wanted Danny. Now you fight Earl because you have to. That's how they do, bruh.
Yeah. And then, then you got the people who's just picking it like, nah, man, Shawn does it like this. Man, Shawn ain't got shit, man. Shawn, Shawn's style was like this. Shawn, when he stepped up, he lost. So now he's fighting Earl Spence. Earl Spence, the truth. Blah, 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 blah. You see now he's real technical too. Boom. Shawn's dirty. That's how
man, but like the people is one thing. Like the people, like we don't like fans, they get a pass, but like the bookies, like you got Shawn a plus 600 money line? You got Shawn a plus 1,000 by decision? You got Shawn a plus 1,100 by knockout? Like, I know the knockout probably right on par, but this nigga plus 600 money line? Like, you telling me he damn sure ain't got a chance of beating Earl? 6-1? Come on, man.
What's the only chance? What's his chance?
His chance is to not get knocked out. That's what he needs to do. I'm looking
at it like this right here, like, even though Shawn Porter ain't rose to the occasion when he fought Keith and Danny and Brooke, he fought those guys. He has that experience. He's beating guys. He's beating Danny, so he has enough experience and wherewithal to get in there and give Earl Spence a way more tougher fight than people may think. I just don't know what we're looking at and what we're listening to.
I mean, a lot of people are looking at that KO ratio, man. I think that definitely moves the odds in a way in betting. But you got to understand that Shawn Porter's been in more high level fights, high pace 12 rounders than Earl. So people really think that Earl.
I think you're right, man. It's those suits that he's wearing. It's those suits, man. People don't like them suits.
Is that what it is?
It's more than that, man. It's more than that. Look, the style, the style. People don't get behind that style too much.
It's Mexican style, though.
Nah.
It ain't Mexican style. Forward pressure, throwing 100,000 punches.
Nah.
Got chest the whole fight.
He's got a lot of stamina. He's got a lot of roughhouse tactics, which ain't illegal, but fans don't like that. I personally enjoy it. It kind of reminds me of Mike Tyson.
That rough shit.
I actually like it when I like it, right? So like, maybe him versus Danny, I ain't want that. I wanted a cleaner fight, but like him versus Earl, I don't want him to fight like Ugas. He needs to be Shawn Porter versus Devin Alexander and Paulie Malignaggi to beat Earl. You got to fight fire with fire and hope that your fire is fucking flames on, B. Hope you Johnny Five in this bitch. Who was Johnny Flame on? What's his name? I fucked up because Johnny Five is the robot.
My boy said Johnny Five.
Johnny Five is definitely the robot.
Yeah, that's short circuit. That's short circuit.
It sounds good.
It sounds like circuit. But back to Shawn Porter, I think
Johnny Five alive.
I think
classic movie right there.
Classic.
People look at the two losses of Shawn Porter, and he fought fire with Keith Thurman. If that was his highlight reel before Earl Spence, it would be a bigger odds on his side.
And listen, if you're looking at that fight for direction, you can see that the Thurman doesn't like that. He's on the back foot. He's fighting as a counterpuncher because he don't like the pressure of Earl, of Porter. So we gonna see, can Earl stand there and push him back, or is Porter gonna run him
does
over?
He have the stamina? You know what I'm saying? He might gas out. Who knows? Does Shawn Porter have more gas than Earl?
I don't see Earl gassing. I don't see Earl gassing because the way they train, right? If you notice, they don't throw 3-punch combinations. It's 1-2. It's 1-2. So they perfected landing the 1-2. Whether it's a jab and a straight right to the head, or a right, a straight. Well, he's southpaw. Whether it's a right hook and then a fucking left uppercut, but it's always 2-punch patterns. They've mastered that. Even in the pad work with Derrick James, you see him. It's papa.
Yeah, and, but he got to control the fight with that. And one thing
also means, I think that also means that like his breathing is paced in there, bro. Like I never seen him gas.
But you still have to train for your opponent, right? So Keith Thurman, that's what sticks out to me the most. I had to train for the pressure and the pace of Shawn Porter. So Earl Spence has to train a little different. He's not fighting Mikey
But
Garcia.
that's what I'm telling you. He throw 2 punches because it's everything on him. When you doing 4-punch combinations, you got to change the speed. What happened?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think if Shawn Porter brought the same pressure that he brought into the Keith Thurman fight, that Earl Spence has the mobility and wills to like do what Keith did, or will he stand his ground?
I do not know, because we've never seen Earl with wills, or have to use wills. And what you're saying is, do he stand his ground? That's actually what I want to see. That's why I like this fight, because I feel like Shawn is the only dude that can tell us how strong Earl is. Everybody else is obviously visually weaker than Earl. They just don't look as strong as Earl. Keith don't look like he gonna get in there and muscle with Earl, and Danny don't look like he gonna get in there and start tussling with Earl. But Shawn look like he could fucking wrestle with Earl. Shawn looks, he's awkward enough, he's strong enough that he's gonna answer some questions, or he's gonna ask some questions that Earl got to answer on Saturday night.
Right.
That's why I like this matchup. If he fights Crawford, it's a boxing match. This the only dude that we believe is coming at Earl.
Full speed. Yep. Now, do y'all believe Earl when he says in the interview with Radio Raheem, he will be disappointed if he don't get a knockout of Shawn Porter?
Well, he said that on PBC yesterday. We did an entire show on that, and he's gonna be disappointed. I mean, he was disappointed with the Mikey no knockout.
Man, Shawn Porter's gonna have to use those angles, man. I know a lot of people thinking, Shawn Porter's strong and he's gonna come forward, but he's still, in my opinion, not stronger than Spence. What's gonna help him out is gonna be that, that forward pressure that he's always brought. But what's gonna have to happen, he's gonna have to get on the side of Earl. If he stays in front of Earl, in front of him, he gonna get knocked out. That's why it's imperative in this fight for Shawn to get on the inside and then get on the angle.
All right, so
if you don't get on the angle,
you think Kemp Porter and Shawn don't know that? I think they.
Whatever plan they got.
Hold on. That's what's called setup. So who's smart? That's what it's chess, not checkers. Checkers, you're gonna stand there. Chess, you're gonna look like you standing there. Boop, you're out the way. So that's chess. I think the chess master here is who? Earl Spence, right? Where
we don't know. We don't know who's
smart. But that's the question that Shawn is raising. He's saying, how is he the master when he ain't been here before? He fought people that's afraid of him. He fought people that's scared of him. On the back foot, playing counterpuncher. I'm coming through. I'm the dog. And you heard him. He even said, you heard him barking. He the dog.
Yeah, but his bark wasn't that tough. And he was like, he needed that.
You trying to Chihuahua Porter real quick. Real quick from the betting lines, though. Mike, you got good odds on Porter. You better jump on that plus 600, because I got no prop bets yet and still a plus 500 for Porter, minus 910 for Earl Spence Jr. Money line.
Shawn does bring it. I have to agree with that. He will bring it, but it's about the control. So
listen, so far we've discussed a little bit of 2 fights, and I just want to point out some things. In that Leonard Hearns fight, the game plan was give up the first couple of rounds, come on strong for Leonard, and it worked. He got the TKO on an elite level fighter in the 14th round of the golden era of boxing. 14 rounds. That's like 2 extra what we go, and it's like, whoa, imagine at that late in the fight being able to knock somebody out, right? So cool. Then you got Trinidad De La Hoya, where, again, we bring up game plan. De La Hoya and his team, and even I, thought he was winning the whole fight. When they told him in the corner, hey, don't get into a slugfest with this dude. We all know Trinidad could punch. Stay away. They thought they had a whitewash 9-3 by giving up the 3. Somehow the judges didn't see it that way. This is definitely a film study. But out of the 2 fights we've assessed, it's been game plan that gets the win. For one man, chose the right game plan. For the other, in Oscar De La Hoya, his game plan cost him the fight. Still made a shitload of money, but it cost him the fight. Now, the next fight,
Right.
unification on the docket, is Floyd Money Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Now, I'm going to read the details on this. I don't believe this was a unification. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's on here because of how big this fight was. They're calling it the richest fight in boxing history. You know, it was at least 6 years in the making. We all know how difficult it was to make this fight. You know, the two sides could not come to terms due to purses, purse splits, drug testing, locations, everything under the sun. You know, Floyd and Manny just couldn't get on the same page. Mayweather was 38 years old at the time and Pacquiao 36. Something to note since we're talking about when these other welterweights actually fought each other. Mayweather came into it 47-0 with 26 KOs, and Pacquiao 57-5 with 2 draws, 38 KOs. But neither had stopped an opponent for years. Both fighters, you know, look, you all seen that fight. It was a whitewash. Mayweather took it away. Mayweather fought 2 sanctioned boxing matches after that, and those were just like the richest fights he could ever do, which racked up $410 million in revenue, including a record $72 million live gate. Also sold 4.6 million pay-per-view buys, nearly 2 million more than the previous record where Mayweather, who earned $200 million for the Pacquiao fight. I mean, these numbers of Mayweather, I'm telling you, there will never be another to come like that. I can only hope and pray for Spence or the winner of this welterweight fight to get as big as that. I don't even know how they get their own version of a Mayweather-McGregor, let alone a Mayweather-Pacquiao. Like, who's Mayweather-Pacquiao in this generation's welterweights? None, because they don't have that fan base. Horn could have been with the win over Pacquiao that Mike likes to credit, but then he failed miserably. Had he beat Pacquiao and then turned around and showed that that win wasn't a fluke by beating Crawford, a unified guy to move up, maybe it could have been different. But in this,
he would have had a big ass fan base if he would have managed to beat Crawford and Pacquiao down in Brisbane. They would have threw a motherfucking
festival
with theirs or some shit. Yeah, real like that Australian market, man, is real. Like they got an event. I hate to bring it up, but in the UFC, that's like going in a 50 or 1,000 people stadium. So
I just want to add a little bit more facts. So again, he got $200 million for the Pacquiao, and they're saying he got an estimated $270 million for the McGregor fight. Yo, no wonder the dude doesn't. I mean, just that's a lot of money.
And that's just the purse, right, my nigga?
Yeah, that's just the purse. They
that
ain't
ain't
gonna do with everything else.
Endorsement.
Nothing.
That ain't all the other endorsements and shit, right?
That's nothing. That's nothing. That's just, you know. Well, it does say earning an estimated. Well, no, it doesn't say revenue. It just says purse. You're right. So, look, I didn't read anything there that said these guys had a belt. Maybe I'll Google it and check.
They had some belt, right?
I'm gonna check BoxRec. I'm gonna check BoxRec. BoxRec keeps a record.
WBC belt they always making for these niggas.
Yeah, but those don't count. Those are just commemorative belts for the event, not an actual belt. Like, you got to be a champ. But I'll tell you now, Pacquiao fought Mayweather. Well, it was a unification. It was for the WBA, the WBC, and the WBO. Shout out, champs. Y'all did it for 3 belts. Strap me up. Strap me up. When he said that, was that after the Pacquiao fight? Strap me up. Strap me up.
Strap me up. I remember. Yeah, he jumped on top of the ropes.
When he beat Maidana, he became the super, right? Like the motherfucker that ain't had to do no kind of mandatory and shit, right?
Yeah. That wasn't a uni. But another uni on the docket is Keith One-Time Thurman versus Danny Garcia. Thurman was 27-0 with 22 KOs, and Garcia was 33-0 with 19 KOs. Now, just for context, because people might say, Ness, look, Garcia had just as many fights as Hearns and Hagler. Yes, he did, but Garcia was unified at a division below and moved up. So, again, this is Garcia already being great and only trying to further attempt at being greater than he was in a unification fight. This was a split decision, split decision 12-round win for Keith One-Time Thurman. I thought he got the clear win. Some people believe this was a tight win. This is a rematch that Thurman definitely talks about. So unlike Felix Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya, Mayweather, Pacquiao, and even Leonard and Hearns, I think we'll get this fight because, again, Our generation is a little bit better, in my opinion. I'm not saying better skilled or anything like that. We're just living in a different time, and I think that Danny and Keith, if we got Guerrero and Rosado still out here fighting, Rosado about to get a title shot versus Billy Joe Saunders, possibly on the KSI Logan Paul undercard. If that's happening for him with 9 and 10 losses, if it's Orlando Salido beat Vasil Lomachenko with 11, 13 losses, well then yeah, I can see Danny Garcia and Keith One-Time Thurman rematching, even Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia rematching, even Thurman and Shawn Porter rematching. Like, I could see that happening in the next 3 years.
Yeah. But now, bringing it back to the fans, but now, just like fans hate on Shawn Porter with this matchup, they will hate on Danny Garcia. So a lot of fans don't want to give Danny Garcia the chance against a Thurman or Shawn Porter again because of his record now.
I don't know. Coming off of Rio,
I would.
Coming off the
but
Rio,
I think
in this, I totally agree with you. I don't know how people had that fight between Thurman and Danny, a split decision. I thought Thurman clearly outboxed Danny in that fight. And that's no disrespect to Danny, because I like Danny, you know what I'm saying? I picked him against Shawn Porter, but in that fight, I thought Keith Thurman was just simply a boxer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's clear on the scorecards. It was 116, 112, 115, 113, and then 113, 115.
Yeah, so 116, 112 is like about right there for me.
But that's what makes it a split decision, Casual.
No, I know, but I'm saying that that's still how you felt about the fight. You know, one judge is your same your same in common. You know, like, oh, he thought that he did more than throughout the whole fight to easily convince himself that Thurman won. So that's his card, 116, 112. But there's people that got it 115 for Danny and 113 for Thurman.
Definitely people out there that got it 115 for Danny, but this was WBC, WBA, titles on the line. It took place in the Barclays Center. It definitely set a record. I believe there was about 16,000 there. You know, good fight. Good fight. Worth a rematch if they can do it. You know, we'll see. I don't know. Danny is slowly getting himself back into that title contention. I would like to see him get that fight with Garcia. I think both Garcias need to see each other and make a fighter for Pacquiao.
Can we mention one more thing that happened off of that Keith Thurman Danny Garcia fight? That after that fight, Keith Thurman did not return.
Months off?
Yeah, he took 22 months off and hasn't. And you know, Danny Garcia's camp claims that their fight changed who Keith Thurman one time is.
I mean, you know, and in a way, Keith kind of admitted it. He said, Danny hit me in the elbow. If he would have hit me in the chin, I probably wouldn't have got up and all this stuff like that. I'm probably messing up his quote. Find it yourself, but it was something like that. That being said, any final thoughts? What about this? What about this? Before we go to final thoughts, now that we mentioned these big name welterweight unifications, is Porter and Spence on the level of Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns?
Yes.
Mayweather Pacquiao, Felix Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya, Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia.
Indeed, yes.
I agree. This is a good fight, a great fight, and
unification fight.
It's gonna shake up. It's gonna shake things up depending on who wins. So I believe it is in that grandeur. I want to do a film study, man. You guys want to go back and do a film study maybe on Earl or Shawn, just to kind of get a sense of what each fighter must do this weekend in order for them to prevail?
If y'all can actually be ready. Yesterday, I was ready. Mike said, what up? I'm like, what's the topic? Everybody went dark on me.
Well, right now we catching it early. Because we could go back and see some of the things that Earl was doing early in his career. I wanted to look back at some of the unanimous decision fights that he won, the ones that he didn't TKO or KO, to see what exactly the other fighter may have done or what.
Yeah, but the issue with that is, and Mike likes to say this or give fighters a pass for this. He's like, he couldn't get up for that fight. That ain't a Shawn. He gonna get up for Shawn. He ain't gonna get up for that guy. That's why he looked that way. He going to look different for Shawn because he understands the danger of a Shawn Porter. But that being said, we got callers. In case any of you guys get any final thoughts before we get to callers and sponsors?
Yeah, my final thought is this is the best of the best, and it is. They are both champions for a reason, and they both have styles. And again, we heard it repeatedly. Styles make fights, and we also heard everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. Does that 1-2 punch pace change Shawn Porter's plan? Does the roughness change Earl Spence's plan? Those are my last final thoughts, and that's where I stand on this fight. It's fight week. Let's go, callers.
I'm sorry, Mike, but this is something you can give me your thought on because this is your guy. People in the chat talking about Crawford versus Ugas, and honestly, I don't like that, right? Like, I was the one. I know Mike thinks he's elite, and I'm the one saying he's not elite, and that's what I'm saying. It's like Porter's gonna ask questions of Earl that we could get some answers to. Is Ugas gonna ask any questions of Crawford?
No, you can't go on. Me and Ugas, the way he fights as a boxer, you can't go out there and try to outbox Terrence Crawford. You're going to get your ass beat. Just period.
I mean, Ugas is a forward fighter. He doesn't really sit there and start to get,
man don't let his hands go enough, man. I just watched that fucking fight with Figueroa. He wasn't letting his hands go. And Figueroa started his career at 30.
Did he let his hands go with Shawn Porter?
I mean,
not really.
Not really.
Yo, listen, dog. When you get robbed, it's because you ain't do enough. I've been saying that shit for years. The only robbery that's blatant still to this day since I've been doing this has been Paul Williams versus Islam Drador. That's the only blatant one where it was so obvious they had to fire the judges indefinitely.
So Lara versus Canelo, like he ain't doing enough.
That wasn't blatant. No, Lara's always on the back foot. He's always on the back foot. It's hard to win a fight on the back foot.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that there's a whole bunch of factors that can go into a decision, my bro. You ain't gonna just sit there and say that you get robbed when you don't do enough. Yeah. You get robbed. You get robbed in a whole bunch of fucking ways.
Yeah.
So Oscar De La Hoya fought on the back foot. That's why he didn't win against Trinidad.
And that's why he got robbed. You get robbed when you don't do enough. He thought he had to fight in the bag.
But you just said do enough. Do enough is not getting robbed. If you do enough, you win.
When
you don't do enough.
Excuse me, you're not listening. When you don't do enough.
Exactly. And you're saying robbed when you don't do enough. Yeah. I'm saying do enough and you will not be robbed.
Exactly. We saying the same
If you want to use the word robbed, though, that's not being robbed. That's being scored against.
Can I get back to my final thoughts?
Drop the flame, champ.
Now, when you say is this fight on the level of a Mayweather, Pacquiao, Oscar, and Trinidad, I would say no. I think those fights were events, and I think those fights just garner a lot more attention. But will it be as competitive as those fights? Absolutely. I definitely agree that this fight is definitely going to be competitive. Like Cass said, it's the top, the best of the best, the top in the division, and I think it's going to be a damn good fight, and we'll see who is the #1 welterweight in the world after this fight.
So you saying this fight ain't garnering the attention that the type of fight?
I mean, you gotta agree with him. I mean, just look at the purses. Just look at the purses, though.
Not the person, nigga. Did you see the?
No, I meant in comparison, just to the particular Tito, Trinidad, and De La Hoya.
Competitively, he's saying,
hell no, you can't put it on that, man. That's Mexico versus Puerto Rico. That was a fucking legend in Oscar versus fucking darling in Trinidad. Trinidad is still Puerto Rico's best.
Not Cotto.
I mean, nah.
Cotto replaced Trinidad. Cotto had the events too.
No, he was given the torch. He ain't replaced. You crazy.
He replaced when he won. He beat Zab Judah.
Hey, look, you Puerto Rican, not me. So if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Let's see how many more Puerto Ricans feel that way. But I don't think they feel that way.
If you're listening right now on YouTube, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. It helps the visibility of the show.
Cotto ain't even loved in Puerto Rico, bro. I went to Caguas. I said this story before. They don't fuck with Cotto. They call him a drunk. Tito's loved and adored. It's different.
It's
an older generation. We talking about the generation again.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe things change for Cotto too. Because remember, post Pacquiao, he had a whole different career. Maybe things change nowadays, but he still was Cotto Diva. He never fought Gennady. He waited all his life to fight Sergio Martinez, and he fought him with braces on. Like, come on, bro. He got a catchweight with. He made Canelo do a 55-pound catchweight for a 60-pound title. Like, Cotto got that diva in him. Trinidad wasn't off that shit. Trinidad was out here fighting B-Hop and Oscar De La Hoya. It's a whole different thing, man.
Hey, we got a couple of super chats that I want to get to before we get to these callers. We got one coming from Big Super Mex. Joseph Rodriguez Garcia says Oscar put a clinic on him. I guess he's talking about
He's talking about Trinidad. I'm telling you, everybody thought he had the fight in the bag. It's like, how you ain't give him a 9-3? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was that bad?
Look, we might have to go do a film study. But in the eyes of Oscar and his trainer, they thought in the 9th round they had the fight in the bag, and they told him, stay away from dude.
Now, knowing that, do you say, like, damn, what if the rules were like in Texas, open scorecard? It would have been a different fight.
Yeah, it would have been a different fight.
We got one coming from Rod 870. So we going to act like Fury didn't sell 100 tickets?
He said the whole place was empty. People moved up.
Who you talking about? Who fight?
Out of Wildin'.
Yeah, man. I think no, he ain't sold 100. He sold like I think 1,000 or 3,000, somewhere like that.
Yeah, but I seen an article that said he sold $1 million worth of tickets.
Yeah, I mean, 3,000 tickets. I mean, $1 million. Yeah, I mean that's not a very big gate.
Oh, all right.
Because remember, Wilder them sold like $1 million in like the first 30 minutes or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And Fury. We got one from Angelo Classen. So GGG versus Canelo 1 was not a robbery, then this.
Nah.
Right,
wasn't it a draw?
Yep, it was a draw.
All right then, and that means you ain't do enough. You got to do enough. I'm just keeping it real. Look, I never thought Gennady won that first fight. I never been on the record saying I thought Gennady won that first fight.
Me either.
I did.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you call it a robbery, and I'm telling you I never seen him win. I seen Canelo come back and beat him even better the second one. So
that fight just too close to be called a robbery.
Yeah, I didn't call it a robbery.
And that's what I'm saying. You ain't doing enough. That's why it's called the robbery. When you fucking whoop a dude's ass and you the one coming forward and you making the fight nonstop and the other dude is on defense, that's obvious. If they rob you, bruh, something coming from that. But
so Manny Pacquiao versus Jeff Horn, it wasn't a robbery?
Dog, you see how I scored it? I went back and scored it. I had Pacquiao winning that fight.
Nigga, he asked you a question. Don't go to the scoring. What I did back in 1982. Nigga, he asked you a question. Was it a robbery?
Yeah. But Mike,
it's a robbery now.
Mike, wait a minute. So you telling me that we did a film study? Think about what you're laughing at, Mike. You telling me we just did? Think about it.
Asking about the film study, and it's just a question. Did Pacquiao do enough, or was it a robbery? And you said a robbery.
It's all relevant. That's what I'm saying. My energy's the same. That's the whole reason you and I argued and ended up doing the film study, because I always...
Though, homie.
Huh?
They ain't the same energy.
You're not listening to me. Please let me finish so you can get it. All right? You and I have always argued on whether Pacquiao was robbed. We argued so much, we turned around and did a film study. In the film study, I felt that me and some of the people in the chat, which you say were only one, proved that it was a robbery. So how is my energy different from today saying it's a robbery? I went on record doing a film study because I felt so aggressively about the robbery. What are you talking about?
Bro, you didn't even remember the fight when we were watching it, but that's beside the point. Nobody said, I think it was one guy said it was a robbery in our chat. Nobody labeled it as a robbery when we was going in.
No. In our chat, what they labeled was the scorecard. They realized that you were lying on your scorecard. You weren't honest. You what?
I don't believe I was lying.
Well, okay, I associated.
For anybody who want to judge me,
I apologize. Hold on, Mike, because I don't want you to take offense. I apologize. I'm going to tell you this. I associated your laughter during a conversation of specific round and scoring. So I'm going to give you an example. We would say, Mike, I scored that round 3 for Pacquiao, and you would be like, you would say you scored it for the other guy, and then we would be like, what? And you'd be like, yeah, and laugh, and we like, Mike, you're not serious, right? And you're like, no, I'm serious. So we thought you were joking, you know.
I was laughing at every round or something. I wasn't laughing after every round.
Look, it's there. It's video
Anybody
there.
want to go watch the film study? Is up, man. You can guys can go watch it. You can clip it. You can do whatever you want to it and bring it back to me. I don't think I was portraying. I'm being portrayed accurately in this description. I'm just saying.
Do you feel that because of your mannerism and laughter, one could believe you weren't being truthful on your scorecard?
I don't know. That's a tough question to ask.
I remember a lot of sarcasm, but you're right. I forget plenty of shit. It's all good with me. I still stand on the record. Pacquiao
and you
got
said
robbed.
it's a robbery, though.
Pacquiao got robbed.
Man, okay.
Pacquiao got robbed, just like my scorecard indicates.
All right. So was that more of a robbery than what happened with Canelo and Lara?
You see, the situation was different because of the blood, bruh. There was blood. Whenever there's blood, it can blur the mind of the judges. Canelo Lara was no blood, just a very high-level skill boxing match with one guy choosing to move more than the other. Canelo was the true Mexican, boxing but coming forward. Lara was the true Cuban, counterpunching and going backwards. And that's why he lost the fight. But I think his work was cleaner. I'm not going to never lie about that. I'm on record. I think Lara's work was cleaner, just like many believe Lara won that fight.
So do you agree that there's other influences besides you not doing enough that can affect?
No, because I just said it. I just said that Lara was doing the cleaner punching but going backwards while the Mexican was coming forward boxing. Lara gotta do more. You not the champ. You the B-side.
Was that fight in Vegas?
I'm sure. Probably. I don't know. Maybe Vegas or Texas. I don't know.
So what I'm saying is that do you agree that there's other factors outside of the boxers
not doing enough? That's the whole thing.
No, because the scorecard is still the judges. So when that lady gave Floyd a draw card, that was still the judge. And let me tell you, that was very consistent with her. She loves Canelo. She She always scores for Canelo. She loves his aggression. Just like Harold Letterman loves a style, rest in peace, loves that Ruslan Pavatnikov style. He says it all the time. He used to say it all the time, like, oh, clean, effective punching, Jim. I like my punches to come forward and be clean and effective. Oh, he's not being effective. He's being aggressive, but he's not being effective. Like, he loved come forward aggression. That's why he was in love with Gennady.
So there's different types of styles of judging, and if you're depending on who's judging for that night on your fight, it can have an impact on what your performance might be perceived as.
Look at it this way. If I go and become a real judge, right, I'm going to score for the Laras of the world like I always do. I always score for the boxer. So I'll be considered the Adelaide Bird. That's all I'm telling you. I'm not going to change my style. That's what I like. I like the dude that hits and doesn't get hit. And then that gets caught up in he ain't working enough. And that's where my phrase, he ain't did enough, that's how he got robbed. Because when the judges don't see you moving enough, letting your hands go enough, that's what category you fall under.
So who's
the worst robbery? The worst robbery that I think is on document and that I've did a little bit of research on. I think was Muhammad Ali and Kid Norton, something like that. First fight.
What, the Phantom Punch, some shit?
But was it Ali old as hell already?
Yeah. Ali he wasn't old, but he wasn't the same Ali when I'm saying younger and shit like that.
But remember, I'm pretty sure, man, if we would have lived through that era, we would have seen. I'm sorry, I didn't even know you was talking.
No, sorry, go ahead.
All I'm saying is I agree. When you don't do, I understand when that's coming from. When you don't do enough, but sometimes your enough ain't gonna cut it. It's gonna be left onto the styles of judging, the styles of refereeing. So, in all honesty, like did you do it? The only thing you could do is knock a motherfucker out for sure. That's how you guarantee a win. You know what I mean? When you got close fights, there's always going to be a A and a B side. One saying good things about this fighter's play and what the other one did.
Rarely do we get robberies where the person that got robbed was the person outworking the other guy. If you outworking, you outworking. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. And when you do outwork and get robbed, Paul Williams versus Islam Drilor will happen. Referees will be fired indefinitely. The boxing world will turn the fucking, whatever the phrase is, turn an eye. That everybody will write stories. Where are those at? We ain't talking about them because they don't really exist. My man just got outworked or didn't work enough and he ain't get the nod. People say phrases like, he ain't do enough to take it from the champion. That mean he ain't fucking outwork him. Gotta outwork, man. If you outwork somebody, you ain't getting robbed. You just ain't. But I could be wrong. Listen, that's just my opinion. Anyway, we're going to go out to these calls. We talked enough.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Perfect example in the chat. Someone said Herrera was robbed against Danny Garcia in Puerto Rico. That's the perfect example.
Of what?
You go back and watch Herrera not doing enough, especially as a pity pat puncher versus the fucking champion in his first time in Puerto Rico. Dog, you know you a B-side. Stop acting like boxing is perfect. And if you a fight fan, stop acting like boxing is perfect. You a B-side. You got to work your ass off or you will be denied your opportunity.
Right. And an example of working your ass off is Andy Ruiz versus AJ.
I mean, that's different because those knockdowns, that's undeniable. When you got evidence that will make a judge look like a cheater, you know, he got to score it for you.
Well, that goes to what Alex said. He said, you got to stop him the only way.
Yeah, but
that's the only way.
Everybody ain't getting stopped. Bermain ain't get stopped his first time. Everybody don't get stopped.
So Saturday, Shawn Porter, whose plan is always to outwork all his opponents, has to prove that.
I mean, well, hopefully he don't change the game plan. You know, motherfuckers get in a big fight and want to change things up. So hopefully he don't change the game plan. He go in there being a Porter. We know him to be Buzzsaw Porter. And it's really up to Earl to see could he land something to make Porter stop being Porter. But again,
so you're saying the Porter that we know has a higher potential to beat Earl Spence. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying I can't wait to see the real Porter we know. Devin Alexander versus Malignaggi, even sprinkling some of the Thurman Porter versus this Earl Porter. We got to see what Earl can do when he got a force coming at him finally. You know, Algieri was a boxer. Kelbrook was a boxer. I mean, this is his first fighter. Peterson, also high guard, using wheels. Like, also small dude moving up. 40-pounder moving up. Algieri moving up. This is a dude that's a grown-ass man that's been in there with some men. And this is the right test. This is the perfect test. We gonna get some answers for sure. We going out to Boomeranger, Dominic in Seattle.
That was a boomerang.
Mr. PBC, baby.
BoxingVoice.com. I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believe he can win. Go to my kitchen, get the sharpest knife, and cut the bullshit out. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great.
Mr. PBC, baby.
What up, Dom?
Yo, what's good, Mike? What's good, Nas? What's good, Doomy? What's good, Supermax?
Hey,
Supermax's favorite friend is Mr. Dazn. Yeah.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. A race is a race.
That nigga keep on with that.
Hey, but let me paint this picture. let me paint this picture, Mike. So Victor Ortiz kind of had the same style to me as Shawn Porter. And when Shawn Porter and when Victor Ortiz fought Floyd, he was giving him trouble, and Floyd was on the back foot. Now we know that Earl Spence was how you doing? Earl Spence was when he fought when he was gonna fight. When he fights people, usually he's not on the back foot. He usually uses angles and shit. So I say Shawn Porter is gonna lose, and he, because Victor Ortiz had that style, but Earl Spence, beat up Floyd Mayweather in sparring. So I'm gonna have to say that. And when it comes to fans, people really never was a Shawn Porter fan because of how dirty he was with the Berto fight. So you can't really say he has the best wins, because even with Danny Garcia, I still think Danny Garcia kind of won that, but he didn't let his hands go because people can't figure out his style. He does that little like football, like that runner back style. He tries to come at you like he's running at you. So I think Earl Spence will get him because he has angles and he has that.
Cut it. Going out to Texas.
Boxingways.com.
Oloki, you are next, my friend. Por eso lo vuelvo a repetir. La era del Canelo es la mejor porque peleó con los mejores. La suerte es para los mediocres, my friend.
Boxingways.com.
That boy Canelo suit me up.
Yo, what's happening? What's up? What's happening, fellas? Y'all good this morning?
Yes, sir.
What up? You the man.
Let me go ahead and double up, Ness, because I got some things to do. So I'm gonna use both. I'm using my boomerang right now. First off, Oscar De La Hoya, he was up 9-0 versus Trinidad. That's a clear robbery. But he got his get back because Felix Thurman beat the brakes off of Oscar, and they just downright robbed that man in front of the world to set up the Bernard Hopkins fight. So karma does come back around eventually. Because Felix Thurman had a few robberies go his way in Germany. But and also another thing, you talked about Oscar being 31-0 against Trinidad, but remember he won his first world title at 130 at 12-0. On his way to Trinidad, he fought Pernell Whitaker, Chavez twice, Camacho, Icorte. So Oscar was a special, different beast, man. There's not a lot of people touching Oscar. But on to the Spence Porter thing. Yo, man, it's great to see a unification. It's great to see this fight. It's a great treat that we're getting so many of these rarities, especially in the division. I'm not a fan of Porter's style, but I'm interested to see how rough and how uncomfortable he can make Errol, and to see how Errol really comes through some adversity. I think Errol's going to do well, and I'm looking for a body shot to set up everything. The body shots will be the difference in this fight, and I think Porter's going to just revert back to what he's known for. So definitely, man, can't wait for Saturday night. Yeah, y'all got to get the film study. I would do a film study on Brook versus Spence, and then Thurman Porter to kind of get a gauge of whether that against high-level opposition. But that's my call, man.
Big Supermax, thanks for calling in. We got Texas in building strong.
JD, motherfucker.
There's a lot of things I like to move, so just try to get on my game. I don't know why they gonna call me for I'm a 54-pounder, but I have a brother that's at 160.
What up, JD?
Texas don't get gas. Yo, who knows that's from? What's that from?
Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Nah, still ain't get it. Come on,
Funk
man.
Master Flex.
Tell him, Enrique. Fucking dudes, man. These young whippersnappers.
Hard to get a ticket.
What up, though?
What up, JD?
What up,
Yo, man, chillin', man. One thing I disagree with what y'all said was Ugas. Ugas for Crawford. I think that's a hell of a fight. Ugas coming off a big win on a pay-per-view card. Didn't look. I think I might be in the minority, whatever, but I think he beat Porter, man. I looked at that fight 3 times.
I'm there with you.
But I mean, I can see how you can say he didn't, let his hands go. I get it, but damn, this how you know Crawford that good, right? When you can just
just be like, man, that dude ain't no competition, and he giving all these top fighters competition. He just gave Shawn Porter a run for his money. But when it come to Crawford, it's not competitive.
Competition, man. That ain't a run for your money. Ain't competition, man. You gotta beat him for me to consider you a threat.
Bro, that fight could have went either way.
Either way.
That fight could have went either way.
You going back watching and looking for shit you looking for. That's what it is.
But that's how you know. Listen, that's how you know Crawford is that good, because we already writing him off against Crawford. Like he won't even give Crawford
Bruh, stop acting like he wasn't stop acting like he wasn't written off against Porter. Wasn't nobody in nobody was calling him the favorite versus Porter.
Bob Aaron was.
Damn.
Tell Bob sign him then.
He showed up,
bro. I would much rather watch Ugas versus Crawford than Mean Machine. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, y'all gotta stop, man. That's been Crawford's resume his entire career. I'd rather watch him. Let this motherfucker get a real dude on his resume, man. We still talking about Gamboa 10, 12 years later, man. Get out of here.
Ugas and you just shitting on him.
Ugas ain't a real. Ugas ain't a
yeah, I know. Hey, I feel.
Ugas ain't a top 5 welterweight, man.
Yeah, but bro, and some of the people mind he beat Porter. You heard Earl. You heard what Earl said, nigga.
What Earl said?
Ugas beat you, nigga.
All right, but he ain't a top 5 welterweight.
He beat me.
Top 5 welterweight.
Man,
he ain't a top 5 welterweight.
Earl Spence told that man to his face he lost to Ugas.
Dog, just like plenty people tell Horn he lost to Pacquiao to his face, bro. That's what I'm telling you. That shit don't matter till it matter. Make it matter.
When it's coming from a fighter that you're finna fight, I think he has a little bit more steam on it.
Bruh, what you mean? How many fighters was saying Horn was food after the Pacquiao fight? How many fighters called him out?
Everybody was.
So we talking about the same thing, Mike. Don't try to separate the two. Both them dudes.
How talk about the same thing?
Because both them dudes was B-sides that nobody thought won.
It's crazy how you shit
to his face that he thought Ugas beat him.
Yo, Ugas is an Olympian, bro. Don't
Thurman
forget
said
that.
he want to fight Horn, but not Crawford. All right.
But what does that mean, though, Ness?
What it
Those
means
guys
is
not fighting each other.
It's all about the build-up.
And Earl Spence are fighting each other.
It's all about the build-up. It's all about the build-up. It's all about the build-up.
Yeah. Yeah, you shit on Ugas. He was an Olympian.
Ain't no build-up, though, for
he medaled up. And like,
what are you building up, Ness?
Why are you shitting on this man so much?
What am I building up? What you mean? What you think Earl's building up?
No, that's my point. You said it's all about the build-up. What are you building up, bringing up Jeff Horn and Keith Thurman?
What? When I said it's all about the build-up, I'm talking about Earl. I'm talking about Earl saying what he's saying.
And I understand that. But you... Never mind.
All I'm saying is Ugas is ex-Cuban Olympian. He medaled up at Beijing. He's not just some guy they found at a fucking bar.
And his biggest win is a 130-pounder, man. So sit there, man. Sit there and think about that for a little while it sits in, man. Boomerang, going to Troy.
How y'all doing? You're talking about Crawford Porter versus Spence, right? Because I'm listening, and as usual, you're all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Read, right?
Well, I didn't hear you, Mike. I'm sorry.
You can read, right?
Okay. No, I can't actually, but
he can't hear.
I'm gonna go with.
We was talking history this morning, and that shit went over his head. Evidently, I thought he was gonna call. Being happy.
I actually just called in, so I actually just got on the phone. So I don't know what y'all were doing earlier this morning, but I'm gonna go with Porter.
About your era, Chant. We was talking about your golden era.
I don't. See. You know, that's where you're wrong. I don't have an era. I just like boxing. So I don't really have an era that I'm stuck in.
The golden era of the welterweight division.
Okay, well, let me just make
versus Leonard.
Cool. Let me just make my point. I'm gonna go with Porter. Even though I know that Spence is the better boxer and so forth, but I think Porter is gonna ask him a lot of questions because I have yet to see anyone actually made Earl fight at a faster pace that he's wanted to, and I believe that's what Porter brings. I don't think he's going to bull rush him and fight this stupid fight that people are talking about either. I don't see that happening. But I really see Porter pretty much squeaking out a decision. There'll be some ugly points to it, but it'll be a good fight. This is the first time in a while that I can say that I'm excited to see a fight, because you got two guys that are basically at the top of their game. They're both still young fighters. They're both champs.
Lids low, boomerang.
What up, Decatur, Georgia? Holla at me.
Hey, what's happening, fellas? Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Baldy for making me a ringer. You know what I mean? I just want to say real quick, still going to be a fire-ass fight. I think it's still going to be 55% on Earl's side. It's going to be a good-ass fight, though. I can't wait to see the motherfucker, to be honest. Now, about this Bud Crawford, shout out to the whole cast up there. I don't even know why y'all even try talking this shit with goddamn this. Y'all know how he is. It don't matter who the fuck y'all put in there. It could be Mike Tyson himself. And goddamn this ain't gonna dig it, shout. But check this.
So basically, you on the record saying you like the Ugas Crawford fight?
Yeah, I'm the first one who said that. Right after Ugas fought Porter, I said, give us Ugas.
Boring.
Yeah, no, but look at this. The nigga got the reach advantage. He got the height advantage. He probably gonna have the weight advantage.
He's a boxer. The only reason that fight was competitive is because Porter ain't the boxer. Porter, at times wants to be in there. Bruh, Ugas is just going to hold his hands in his pocket once Crawford start pop shotting the shit out of him with the accuracy. Come on, B.
Well, look, that ain't our problem. We just got to whoop whoever the fuck y'all put in front of us. Because we can't get the match we want. We got to wait on Earl.
Y'all ain't getting Ugas anyway. Y'all dreaming.
Well, it don't matter. Like I always say, I don't care who we get. It don't matter. I don't even want to
fight no Kavalaskas, man. Y'all getting Kavalaskas.
That's cool. We gonna whoop him too. It don't matter. But I don't even want to keep Thurman fighting no more, simply because now that man got another surgery on his left hand. And just real quick, Keith not the same no more, man. He having too many goddamn injuries.
I ain't the same no more. Only unified champ. Tell your man's unified, man. Step up, man. Tell your man's unified in the welterweight division, the glamour division, the money division.
Can't say that shit no more. Only with the world champ unified in our era.
Hey, you better be careful.
No more, dog.
Heavyweights is here.
You better be careful before you get a. You better be careful before you call that girl Karma and she bring you a draw.
Stone, why are you bringing it? Not nigga at the betting show, baby. You don't bring that up on fucking live here. Not for a fight this big.
Orlando, what up, Orlando?
What's going on? Hey, y'all there?
We here.
Yeah, what's going on, man? I really don't. I heard Mike Irvin saying, like, are y'all really shocked by the betting odds?
I mean, damn, plus 500 for Porter. Hell yeah, that's wide. He ain't no bum.
So even, but so you don't really think that Errol is just that much better than him?
That's money line. So wait till the prop bets open up.
I just think Errol's a lot better than Porter, but I don't think that's disrespecting Porter, because I don't think.
My nigga,
I mean, but the odds is disrespecting Porter. The odds made Porter more of an underdog than Mikey. They wildin'. They saying a dude that started his career at 22 or 26 had a better shot.
I didn't know that. I agree with you on that. I didn't know it was Mikey. That's crazy. Mikey.
Bro, the money ain't even come in, and they already
I didn't know those.
Yeah, nah, they playing Porter on the line. So
Mikey should have been lower. Mikey should have been lower, but I really think Errol's gonna. I don't think he's gonna knock him out, but I think this is gonna be an easy unanimous decision. Like, it'll be a tough fight and an exciting fight.
Nobody
ever
when the
been
fight
in an easy fight.
Nobody, not even Brooke,
no.
Not even Kell Brook, who held Porter
I don't think it's gonna be easy. I think it's going to be a competitive fight, but when the fight ends, I think Earl Spence is going to be the clear winner. Like, everybody's going to know Earl won before the judges even say their scorecards.
All right, we'll see, man. I mean, he definitely put on a clinic. Cut it on a Teeny Mikey fight. We got CYP Talk to me.
What's going on, Mr. CYP?
When CYP gets in, everybody get their fingers ready, because the hate's going to begin. Anyway, look, I just heard Troy pick Porter, man. God damn it. Damn it. Jamaicans don't pick fight good, man. And I don't want to be right with Troy. No. So please, Troy, change your pick before Friday. Please. There should be bad karma, man. I don't want to fuck with you. Secondly, when it comes down to a rivalry, this is how it works. You got 3 judges. If 2 of them judges say dude won, he won. Now what you do is you replay the fight for all the other judges. If all the other judges say the other guy won, it becomes a rivalry. But those 2 judges still have leeway. So if they say dude won, officially dude won. But if 99% of the other judges who could have been chosen in place of those 2 say that they would have scored it for the other guy, then boom, it becomes a robbery. That's just it. Now my last point. When it comes to number of fights, I don't measure greatness on number of fights. I measure greatness on age, on the age of the fighter. So if Clarissa Shields right now at 23 is doing what she's doing, it's much greater than if she was 30 years old with the same resume doing what she's doing. So the age, like Lomachenko being in the amateurs at 21 and 24 fighting amateurs that never turned pro, I don't give him credence for that shit because Floyd, Mikey, Tank, Oscar, all those dudes were at 21, 22, 23, 24 fighting professionals for world championships. That's why I rate these dudes.
Cut it. I don't know, man. I mean, the way he preferenced it, he said, if you are 30 with the record of Shields, I don't give you the same credit. But then I, on the other hand, would. Because if you are 30 years old and you still are achieving what Clarissa Shields is achieving with the same number of fights, yeah, I think you are special because we all know you lose a step. Time, you can't outrun Father Time. So if you're still doing it at 30, especially at the rate of Clarissa with the record of Clarissa, I think you might have to get more credit because, again, motor skills die at that age. They slow down.
Yeah, but you got fights and you got experience and you got things like you can rely on. Being that's why, like, when you look in sports, you hardly ever see the young athlete really go out and win championships. You don't really see it in NBA. Last person that I can just think of off the top of my mind was Magic Johnson back in the day, came out of college 20 years old, winning an NBA ring. NFL quarterbacks don't win championships when they're young. The only person that I can think about is Big Ben his first year in the league, but he had a hellified defense and a hellified running game, and he was surrounded by Hall of Famers. He had to win, and he wasn't even the Super Bowl MVP. So when you can be 23 years old like a John Jones or Clarissa Shields, and you can accomplish being going to be a 3-time world champion in 3 different weight divisions, I think that gives you a lot more credit than somebody who's been around for 7-8 years in their career, knows the game, got the experience, got the ring.
He didn't say that. That's what I'm saying.
But he didn't have time to say all that. I'm saying like that's probably what he meant.
But that's what I said. He preferenced it different. He said, if you're 30 and you got Clarissa's record, I give you less credit than what Clarissa's doing at 23.
I agree with that.
So now, what's missing there is being 30 and being active until the age of 30. But if you're telling me you starting at 30 and you're able to do what Clarissa's done, that's different, bro. You gotta give credit.
Yeah. If you're starting boxing at 30
and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's different.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't preference, if a fighter has been fighting all their life and now they turn 30 and now they do with Clarissa, that's different. He didn't say that. If he meant that, totally different. We got Ring Walk Danny.
Yo, good morning, fellas. Good morning. How's everybody?
My bad, Danny. My bad, bro. I totally forgot you was on the fucking line.
Oh, no, it's all good, champ. It's all good. I just been listening to you guys. I'm driving to L.A., bring you guys that fight week coverage. So I just been tuned in to the Boxing Boys, as every boxing fan should do every morning. But, I hope everybody having a good one, bro. I just wanted to touch on a few things. Kind of Ness brought up our era of boxing, and I just want people to truly realize how fortunate we've been. People always say boxing is dead, whatever the case may be. We've seen 2 undisputed 3 years in Alexander Usyk and Terrence Crawford, right? We don't come across that too often. This will be the 11th welterweight unification in the last 40 years, 4 of which I've seen in my. So boxing is far from dead. It's only going to bigger and better things. I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out there on that. But hope everybody has a great day. We got the press conference today, undercard press conference tomorrow, the weigh-in Friday, fight Saturday. I cannot wait.
Champ, you already know, man. Thanks for calling in. Get that good coverage. We got Mastermind, NO and the NO.
Whoa. Look, man. Check this out, bro. Spence gonna fuck this nigga up, dog. This shit gonna be brutal, bro. Cause from what I'm saying, dog, there's a lot of pent up frustration. A lot of people closing doors on him, dog. And now they can't close them motherfuckers no more. Now it's time to pay the piper. It's time to sit down and take this nasty ass medicine now. You dig? And Porter the first one that get his name called at the doctor. Porter, please come to the back. Doctor ready to see. This man is standing there in the showstopper and say he gonna knock this motherfucker out cold. I'm calling this shit right now, dog. It's gonna be a stoppage. It's gonna be a motherfucking 8-round stoppage. Kenny Porter throwing the towel because he loved his son, man, and his life at the box. You hear me? I'm looking at the demeanor. I'm looking at the aggression. I'm looking at the swag. I'm looking at the confidence, bro. They only got 2 fighters. Well, they got 3 fighters right now in the game. Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, and G. Russell. That's 3 people I believe when they say some shit.
My nigga call him G. Russell now. Okay.
Yeah, G. Russell. It's G. Russell now. As the vibe he putting out there. It ain't Gary no more.
I like that shit, G. Russell in the building, goddammit.
BoxingVoice.com.
You invited him to the ring? Why?
Yo le invité a que subiera. Como decimos en México, hay que dejarnos de mamadas. ¡Viva México!
And like we say in Mexico, we don't fuck around. BoxingVoice.com.
Yo, what up? You heard me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yo, Enrique, going back to what you were talking about when they were talking about like a B-side going in there and outworking a champ. You try to bring up Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. The better fight out of that would have been to bring up Tyson Fury and Klitschko, because nobody thought Fury was going to go into Germany and outbox Klitschko. That's an example of somebody going in and outworking the champ. I thought Oscar got robbed, and then by Ness's point of not working enough, he took the last 3 rounds thinking he had it and thought he did enough, but he didn't do enough in their eyes. But I still think Oscar got robbed. When it comes to this, I think Earl and Shawn, it's not on the level of those unification bouts, because this is the first step back to getting the welterweight on that level, because Keith was doing it, but then Keith got hurt and took the time off. Now this is getting it back to where it is towards undisputed, and that's what builds the fights bigger, like in the heavyweight division. When you get closer to undisputed, that's when the fights get bigger. That's my call.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
James Payne, Leaker.
New caller?
Lethal, yeah. James Payne, Lethal checking in. Good morning, TBV. Super excited to be on the line with you gentlemen this morning. Currently at the workhouse getting it in. Say what?
Where you calling from?
Man, I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, but right now I'm down here in Texas getting some work in down here in Dallas.
Shout out M-Town.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into this call real quick. So I wanted to make a comment. You guys was talking about the fighters. and the different generations and all of that. Like, I think, man, fighters just mature when they mature. You know what I'm saying? If they could be older and they just put it together at the right time, they could be a young phenom. Like you look at David Benavidez, how he's so young and he was able to capture a world title. So I just think it's just all on that fighter and the team around him that helped them in the maturation process. I wanted to make a comment about the betting odds. I feel like the bookies, they rely real heavily on the eye test, especially with Earl. He has what you want to see if it's somebody you want to put your money on. You know, Earl to me, he just looks better than Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter's not that. I mean, he's not a good-looking guy, you know what I'm saying? His fight style, real rugged and everything like that. I'm not saying it's a pretty boy test, but I'm just saying, like, Earl has all of the things. If you were better, you feel more comfortable putting your money on this guy that get that Floyd endorsement than this other guy that had some really rough fights and doesn't really win in an impressive fashion. I will say that Shawn has hella dog. He's going to have to get inside this Saturday. I expect Earl to be very active. I think people think Earl is a bulldozer. That's not really the case.
Cut it. Thanks for calling in, champ. We got
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
Jay Boxing. You know no shit about boxing.
BoxingVoice.com.
Fellas, how everybody doing this morning?
What up, big time? What up, champ?
Hello?
Morning.
It's all good, man. It was good to hear y'all talking about the old school. You know, I love all the eras of boxing, you know, and I try to watch them all, you know. But only thing different about my era and y'all era is that was the O. You know what I mean? Back in my day, they didn't care about the O. You lose, the rematch was even better. And you got even a better fight. You know, now it's about that. Oh, nobody want to lose it. You got to get paid a whole hell of a lot of money. But it's some hell of a fighters in your era right now. Hell of a fighters. And this particular fight this weekend, oh, man, I hope it's a remaking of Hagler and Hearns. That's what I'm looking for. But I'm going to give you my prediction. I feel, though, that Earl's going to win by decision. Not going to be no knockout. When you get up to that level, very seldomly you get knockouts, man. And that's pretty much all I got right there, man. I feel, though, it's going to be a good fight. I think Shawn and them going to try a whole bunch of different things, but they should stick with the full court press if they're going to make it a good fight. Other than that, that's my call. Y'all have a great week.
All right, well, thanks for calling in. Jay Hardcore Boxing News on IG. We got Checkmate Boxing. Talk to me.
What up, Checkmate?
Yo, what's up, fellas? I'm good. What's up, Mike? What's up, Ness? Hey, I want to say, I think y'all are giving Shawn Porter way too much credit. The reason why I'm saying this, all the years we've been watching Shawn Porter, we know he's a bulldog, right? We know he's going to bring the intensity. We know he's going to bring that bulldog style, but that's it. He is so limited. And the reason why, when you saw him in this fight against Ugas, he tried to box. He looked very, very awkward. Okay, in fact, I don't even think he won that fight. Okay, so now we're talking about Earl Spence, the guy who I thought was just a bulldozer, you know, an effective, efficient bulldozer. But what he showed when he fought Mikey, throwing 1,080 punches in a boxing, he outboxed the boxer. That opened my eyes and showed me the multi-dimensions he had. And people are not respecting that. And a caller called in and they said, he's going to push Earl harder than he's ever been pushed. Nigga, 1,080 punches. How much harder can you push that? Okay? And I'm going to tell you, Mike, I'm going to fight Mike. I'm going to join Border Wars. I'm going to get in a wheelchair to knock you the fuck out, Mike. I'm going to fight goddamn UNES. If you better put some goddamn respect on Earl Spence's name. Stop playing with him. Okay? You got to respect. I ain't going to fight y'all. Y'all know what I'm saying. But I'm saying, you got to respect the man for the skills what he has. I know you guys are upset because he did knock out.
We're going to see what he do.
We weren't even worried, my nigga. You ain't get a reaction from my ass. But bro, what?
You got 1,080 punches, but you had Mikey.
That's like me saying
frozen in
Ness go fight motherfucking Marvin or some shit, and he keep Marvin at the end of his jab, and he pawing Marvin for the whole 3 rounds and boxing his head off. Ness, I don't give a fuck about that. Marvin's little. Go knock that little motherfucker out. Period.
Damn, Marvin. No respect.
That's no disrespect to Marvin, but I've seen you in the ring. I've seen you, and I seen that fucking straight right. I was like, why are we toe tagging? I've seen Earl demolish kill with fucking straight pressure.
What I'm saying is this, bro. He said he's talking about the 1,080 punches and all that, but like Mikey was a motherfucking punching bag for a lot of the time.
90 seconds.
It was a punching bag with his hands up, so of course I'm gonna keep letting off shots. That ain't gonna happen with Porter. You ain't just gonna have Porter standing in front of you trying to block shots all day. You're gonna have a lot of shit coming back towards you. So, you know.
And that's the same issue I had with Peterson. Peterson had his gloves up too, but we got Majid. Talk to me, Florida.
Yeah, what up, man?
Seconds.
What up, champ?
Thanks for the morning show again. You know, and I feel like, you know, this unification bout between these two is a big deal, you know, because that's my main thing in boxing that I want to see in all weight classes. Champions fighting champions. Fuck getting one belt, then jumping and all that bullshit, you know. So, I mean, I'm happy as hell about the fight. And, you know, I'm going to stand on my ground when I say I believe that, you know, Spence going to beat him, probably outwork him, you know, and get the decision or whatever. But, you know, but Shawn Porter ain't going to be no walk in the park. So, you know, that's all I got, man. Thanks for the show again.
Majid, thanks for calling in. We going out to that one white boy. John, what it do?
What up, John? John over here smashing shit, nigga.
10 seconds.
Bro, they got McChicken biscuits at McDonald's now. What the fuck?
What?
Bro, look at this shit.
Oh, wow.
Bro. All right, anyways. But like I've been saying, Porter's going to take down Spence. He's coming in. He's going to do it, bro. He's going to take him down. Spence has never been tested like that. And how dare you say that Ugas is now on a fucking high level, Ness? How dare you?
I said elite. Is he elite?
He's elite. He stood in there. Okay, a lot of people said he beat Porter.
Oh, so now we're giving out moral victories again. Every morning we got more victories to give. All right.
I mean, but a lot of people said he beat him, bro.
Sounding like moral victories to me, Champy.
Well, what about Keith Thurman and Porter? Is Porter an elite level fighter?
I mean, of course, Porter's a world champion.
Right.
And he won his belt. And he won his belt from an elite level fighter, or in a fight with an elite level fighter in Danny.
But a lot of people said Ugas beat Porter, so is not Ugas an elite level fighter?
Nah, you don't get moral victories. A lot of people said Fury beat Wilder. Did he win?
Yeah, Fury did beat Wilder, in my opinion.
I mean, he ain't get the
I'm on the record saying it. Oh, my God.
It's
Fury
okay.
beat Wilder,
it's okay, but did he get the win, though?
He got the draw. He got robbed.
He didn't get the win, though. And
He
if you get a draw, you didn't do enough.
No, I get that, though. Absolutely.
You know?
But I agree. I think Ugas is the top level fighter. 100%. That's just my opinion. In my opinion. But hey, McDonald's is going off.
Cut it.
Ain't gonna lie, y'all gotta fuck with it.
We got all right. So we got a Skype caller with no name, all numbers, and if you haven't spoke, we talking to you.
Number 19. That's you.
Hey, is that me?
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, sorry I have no name. I don't know how to work this. I'm a first-time caller.
What's your name?
All right. My name is Juan. I'm calling from Mexico City.
Nice,
Shout
Juan.
out to
Long-time listener. Appreciate the work.
Shit, bienvenidos, compa.
Hey, wasn't the UFC just down in Mexico City?
No, I heard about it. I heard there was like a big mess, but I don't usually watch that UFC. So yeah. Anyway, fight week, kind of excited. I believe Spence should win, but there's a reason the fights are fight. and Spence is taking a tough fight, so that's gotta mean something. The biggest takeaway from this promotion is that little video Spence put on Twitter, like reminiscing the Nintendo game Punch Out. It was called like Errol Spence Clear Out or something like that.
Yes, I seen that.
Yeah, that was.
And he mentioned Crawford. I seen that.
That's what I mean. That's what I like to hear from a fighter. He says he wants to clean out the division. After Porter, he's going after Thurman. He's going for Pacquiao, and then he's going for Crawford. And I'm not one to say what a person should or should not do, but I believe Crawford's personality is holding him a little bit back. I would like to see him on his side demanding the PBC to feed him one of his champions. You know, like, hey, give me Danny, give me whoever, but I'm coming this way. You know, but he wants to manage his career the way he wants to manage his career. So I hope it works for him. But I would like to see him fight the PBC champion.
Listen, man, we gotta stop giving Crawford a pass. We've done shows telling fucking Deontay Wilder, who's 10 times more popular than fucking Crawford, makes way more money than Crawford, fucking is in the better division than Crawford. That's the real welterweight division, is the fucking heavyweight division.
You sure?
Hell yeah. This is the glorious division of the heavyweight. This is the division to bring all the casuals out. That's why Wilder do the numbers he do.
That's coming. That's coming.
That's all good. Let's not get hung up on that. The point I'm trying to make is that we even stress Deontay to get in the ring. We asked Deontay, you ain't going to that fight, D? Come on, champ. Do it for your fans, champ. And he in a better negotiation position than half these dudes. So we got to stop giving Crawford a pass, man. Crawford need to show up at this fight and get the fuck in the ring like Laura did. Get at the press conference like Andre did in Laura. People have done it. Go Clubber Lane. We said it before, man. You know what's interesting, Ness? That this opinion is coming all the way from Mexico City. So it's not just from the American fight fans. It's not just from across the pond. It's also coming from down south, man. They want to see him be more of a people's champ.
Y'all just not gonna get it.
I mean, he can do whatever he wants. At the end of the day, he ain't gonna give a fuck about anybody but him and his family. But I understand all that. But like, if you're trying to build a real legacy where people are gonna remember you, love you, and talk about you, and all that other stuff. That's the type of stuff you got to do.
Bro, look, Crawford is going down in history as the only champ where fans say he's got an attitude. Like, we talking history today. Fans love Oscar. Fans love Tito. They love Leonard. Hearns, I see him, but you know he don't look as good as the like. You know what I'm saying? He must have took some punishment. I ain't follow his career, but you know what I'm saying. They still love him anyway. You see him at all the Canastota Hall of Fames every time. You know, like, are they gonna love Crawford when he gone? He gotta open up. Everybody done it. Even Earl has been forced to do it. He was just on TV saying, this what you got to do if you want to be a star.
And I think Crawford could be that type of person that could reach so many lives because he's relatable. You know what I'm saying? He has a great story. It's just not much people know about him. You know what I mean?
Guys just not made to open up, man.
That's true, man. That's true. But you in a sport where you gotta open up. You got media obligations, and you've seen him coming out of his shell lately. You've seen him on Joe Rogan. You've seen him on some things. You feel me? But like,
somebody asked him, was he going to the fight?
There's young men out there that don't know him that maybe they should get to know him. They could relate to him. So, you know, that's all I'm saying.
Like I said, man, some guys are just made to go home after work and not do anything extra. Just how the life is.
Excuses.
Some guys don't want to be stars. Some guys just want to do their job and get paid and not be a big time.
You're right. Some guys don't want the big fight. You absolutely
man. Listen, when Crawford's under the lights, he loves being under the lights, bro.
Absolutely.
He loves demolishing the man across the ring for him in front of thousands and millions of views. He loves that shit. I mean, and like I said,
that's probably why he ain't stepping in that ring, because the dude across the ring will be Earl or Porter. somebody that's on his level. Somebody that's a real welterweight, you know?
Yep.
Not a dude with a leg, you know, that's fucked up. Not dudes that's been previously knocked out. Not C-class fighters. Not dudes that's never won world titles, you know? Lundy, Derry Jean, fucking, yo, how many of them dudes? Delorme, Benavidez. I mean, yo, the list go. I ain't even got box rec up, my nigga. Them niggas never won world titles, man. Like, it's different when there's a Porter across the ring from you, or Earl across the ring from you, or Keith, or a Pacquiao. It's different. But Boomerang, Mr.
Don't
PBC.
forget.
Oh, no, ain't good. Oh, hold on one second. I got a phone
Fight.
call.
At welterweight. Fourth fight at welterweight.
Mike, you broke up. What happened?
I said, don't forget, this is Terrence Crawford's fourth fight at welterweight.
I be talking on this talk show. It keeps my head level during all this race.
Hey, yo, we gotta let you go, champ. You wilding right now. We going Boomerang NL.
Put this nigga on mute. Out of here. And I'm not in here, homie. We got Brandon Maurice, though.
Nah. Eno's over here. Eno's over here.
My bad.
But I guess he busy, too. We could go to Brandon.
What up, Brandon? Talk to me.
They trucking today. They trucking. All good, man. Listen, I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. Catch us on the next one. There will definitely be a next one. Today's Wednesday or Thursday?
Today is Wednesday.
Okay, so there might be another one. I'm pretty sure there'll be something that we can do. And,
Film study.
Yeah, and they want to do film study. Who we going to watch?
Well, Supermex has some suggestions. I mean, I had some suggestions, but just trying to get a gauge on them fighting this week. Why we don't watch Porter versus Thurman and Earl versus Kell Brook, like he said.
Let me get. We got a caller here. Joshua in New Orleans. Talk to me.
What up, Josh?
Yeah, what up, Mike? I was calling to talk Errol and Porter, but since I didn't heard so much hate coming from Ness with Bud Crawford, I'm starting to think Bud did Ness something. It's like everything.
With my girl.
That I was starting to get at that. Ugas would be a great fight for Bud, especially what they got going on in boxing. I hear all this critiquing on how people should be in the ring. From Bud's psyche part, Bud he's gonna only be what he gonna be, and that's just what it is. He got a promoter for that. He got that loudmouth ass trainer for that, and let them people talk the shit. He get in the ring and he back that shit up. Bud ain't never dug no fades. All this stuff about who he fought at 140, that's who was in the weight division. And he ran through them. Now he moving up on 147, trying to fight the dudes that y'all want him to get in the ring with, but they on this PVC talking this other cross the street shit when they could get in the ring with Bud. Instead of that, Danny ain't trying to fight him. Errol trying to throw Uga's name in the mix, which you're trying to discredit right now, Ness, because he just brought up Uga's name before Crawford when they was trying to bring him and put him in a Crawford situation if it don't work out for Pacquiao. But he didn't add his name to the roster. 100%. So you always talk about getting in the ring with somebody. None of these dudes ever call out, bro. Who do you hear call?
Hey, y'all gotta stop wishing Al gonna help Crawford. It ain't gonna happen. Stop asking Al to help Crawford get a resume. It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, now, yo, y'all so thirsty. Keep it G, yo. Just look at yourself.
Thirsty about? We want to see a good fight, bro.
Let me finish. Yo, look in
I just
mirror.
hate the fact that niggas out here play the nanny boo boo shit.
Look in the mirror, champ.
We want the best fight, but y'all hung up. Oh,
y'all want the best fight? His name Ugas.
You can't get the carrot. You can't get the carrot.
Is the best fight named Ugas?
Are we 12?
Is the best fight named Ugas? Is that what it is now?
If that's the only person you can get with credibility, I don't want to see fucking Mean Machine. I'd rather see Ugas. Is that so bad?
So you saying best available? That's what y'all saying.
Yeah. Okay. Danny is being on hold and Mikey for a Pacquiao fight. Keith Thurman is out.
Yo, let me
Earl
let y'all
Spence
know
is
something.
fighting
Man.
Shawn Porter. When you take those 5 out, and I told you yesterday, Ugas was ranked number 6 or 7 on BoxRec.
Yo,
he's in the top 10.
Let me let you know something, B. Let me let you know something. There is one way you could get it. It ain't like Al can't sit in a desk somewhere and say, yo, he arguably beat Porter. Let's send him to get that last belt. If he lose, he lose, but let's send him. I ain't saying he can't do that. But how probable is that when he just served up the Mexican? He just served up Omar Panterita Figueroa, who he was already going to give to Adrian Broner. I mean, they rolled that fight out. I don't know, man. He had to sacrifice good old Omar for, Omar caught a little DUI. He ain't been acting right. They say this time he got trained by his sister. It's like, yo, we might have to serve him up. So I don't think that after you sacrifice Omar, you about to just send Ugas off. But just know, if $4 million wasn't good enough for Danny, it ain't gonna be good enough for Ugas. You making faces, Mike. Think about it. Luis Ortiz didn't take 7. They got plans on PBC. You can laugh all you want. They got plans on PBC.
I wouldn't even think about giving Ugas $4 million.
I know. But that's what I'm telling you. Because they got the inventory, that's what they can do.
Keep them.
But we'll keep Mean Machine. Next GTO, Instagram and Twitter. Catch us on the next one. Oh, shit, we got Brandon. Brandon, what up?
We got KO, too.
He said I won't give him $4 million.
I give that nigga $4 million.
Give him $1 million.
Can y'all hear me?
I mean,
what up,
we hear you and everything else.
Yeah, like, this how y'all know Ness be full of shit, bro. Canelo a way fucking bigger star than Terrence Crawford. And when what's his name, Deverenchenko wanted $5.5 million, Ness said these niggas want retirement money to fight Canelo. They shouldn't get $5.5. But Terrence Crawford got paid niggas $10 million to get in the ring, $12 million.
Oh my God, Brandon.
Brandon,
I thought you were smarter than that. One dude is paying out the wazoo because he can't get fights. The other dude paying you what he want because he got a plethora of fights, dog. Get your shit right. One dude is the fucking clear A side.
Bullshit. That's bullshit, bro.
All right, so you telling me, come on, Brandon, you telling me Canelo can't get 5 dudes right now to sign on the dotted line? How many dudes could Crawford get to sign? Go ahead, I'll wait. I'll wait.
That's I'm talking about the narrative you be paying. So Terrence Crawford got to pay people more than Canelo got to pay people to get in the ring, bro?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, bro?
Yeah. That's how boxing works. Hey, Mike, you laughing, but Canelo took short money on the Mosley fight. He took short money on the Cotto fight. He took short money on the Mayweather fight. I don't understand.
We ain't talking about that Canelo.
What Canelo you talking about?
The face of boxing back then, he wasn't the face of boxing when you're taking short money.
My nigga, he took short money versus Mayweather Doomy and still did 2.4. In his next fight, he still took short money. What don't you get? You gonna tell me a dude that does 2.4 million pay-per-view buys as a B-side? You sitting around here trying to get Gennady Golovkin cachet for doing $1 million with Canelo. And now I'm telling you, Canelo, even after doing 2.4 and breaking fucking records at the gate, still took short money like 2 or 3 more times. Yeah, you making faces. You forgetting about the fucking Austin Trout fight when he beat the shit out of Cotto. So he was the A side. And then you making faces, but you forgetting about when he went and fought Miguel Cotto after that. And he was still the B side. Cotto even gave him a catch weight. You know what?
Again, we're not talking about that Canelo.
Y'all jealous. Y'all jealous of Canelo. I'm tired of defending. Y'all jealous. Do what he did. Do what he did.
Big Canelo got to pay a nigga.
Do what he did.
You want to stand on that? That's fine.
Mike, if Canelo's paying Cotto more than what he got, what you talking about? Why can't Crawford do it? If he's taking short money, that means he's giving the B side more money. What you talking about, man? Come on, bro. Y'all just want shit for free. Y'all want shit for free. Andre, Charlo, and fucking Jacobs won't fight each other. Everybody want a Canelo fight. Canelo's ducking. La era de Canelo, la de mejor, because he fight the best. That's what he said, and that's what it is. His era's the best because he fight the best. He has fought in the best. Has Crawford fought the best? Has Crawford fought the best? Hank Lundy the best? Or is Thomas DeLorme the best? Or is Ray Beltran the best? Or is Victor Postal never had a fucking world title the best?
Victor Postal never had a world title. My nigga no boxing.
He won that title in a vacant match, bruh.
Nigga no boxing.
He ain't win that vacant title? He ain't win that vacant title? He ain't win that vacant title? Oh, I guess you don't care because your man won a lot of vacant titles. What about Felix Diaz? What about Felix Diaz?
Drop him because they don't want to fight you?
What about Felix Diaz? What about Felix Diaz? He was a world champ? Come on,
Felix Diaz actually beat let me look at Felix Diaz right quick because he beat somebody.
Crawford got 35 fights. Canelo got how many? Come on, bro. Like, stop. Yeah, you got to pay. The same way Wilder had to take short money. Wilder didn't sign for a flat fee. Come on, man. Y'all ain't real boxing fans. Stainless, talk to me, man. They haters out here.
Legacy straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the deep. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
Can I get some more, sir? Can I get some more?
Man, I do appreciate it, but fellas, y'all know I'm just at work listening. I calm that shit down though, man. Boxing is boxing, man. We got to fight this weekend, man. Say the fight for this weekend. As I always say, please make sure you push the thumbs up. Share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast because it's TBV for life. And if you ain't on Patreon, it's because you're stupid. And shout out to El Camino. Peace.
Sing along if you know the words. Come on.
KO'd in the UK, talk to me.
What up, KOD?
What up? Can you not hear me?
Yeah, man, you the man. Talk to me.
Intro lit.
Yes. So quick one, yeah. Just comparing the welterweights of this time and yesterday's. I think one thing is the welterweights of them years, like the Hearns and Haglers, like you used to get more knockouts in high-profile fights, and you don't really get that these days. So I think from that perspective, I would say I definitely prefer the welterweights of the previous years. But quick one, did you like do a show about Espinosa's boxing scene article, the one where he was talking about
yet. I was hoping we got to. We kind of did one pay-per-view, but we didn't get to the Espinosa article yet. But I'm hoping that we get to it.
All right, good stuff. All right, that's my call, man.
All right, champ.
I don't see what's the big deal, you know.
What is that? What article are you talking about? What is it regards?
Maybe if you frequent all the websites, you'd be up to date.
So you want to just try to sound like you?
I seen you, Domi. I seen you, bro. Don't worry about it.
He will send you a link.
I don't even want. I was just asking a question. Apparently, Ness doesn't know the article. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Yo, check this out. Ricky Burns. He was a world champ. He was a world champ.
Boy.
He was a world champ.
I thought I was infatuated.
No, I'm obsessed. British Prescott. I'm obsessed.
Short note.
World champ right here. Alejandro Sanabria, world champ. Andres Klimov, world champ. Yo, shout out to Beltran, officially became a world champ after this Crawford beating. Yudokis Gamboa ain't been a world champ since he was at 126. Since he beat Orlando Salido. How many years ago was that?
Poof.
Thomas DeLorme never been a world champ. Derry Jean never been a world champ. Hank Lundy never been a world champ. Victor Postal, I believe he won his WBC in a vacant title shot with Lucas Matisse, which is legitimate. I'm gonna give him all the credit for that. He did an Angulo on Matisse. He broke his eye, made him quit. Felix Diaz, gold medalist, no world champ. Indongo, world champ. He had all but 90 days being world champ when they set this fight up. Jeff Horn, fake world champ. Benavidez, no world champ. I mean, sheesh. Next GTO, Amir Khan, never a real world champ. Nah, actually, Amir probably was a real world champ at 40, maybe. At 40, right when Khan got slept for the next 10 years, he was put to sleep by Danny with that left hook. No. Danny kept him asleep. Canelo woke him up with his punch. He woke him back up. Yeah. Next GTO, Instagram, and Twitter.
And catch me on IG, Alex_Doomsday_LAINEZ, and on Twitter, AlexLinesTBV. And tune in, stay close by because we might come around with another one. Cheers!
Y'all know y'all can catch me on IG at Gross1911, where there is a hate-free zone. When I repeat, a hate-free zone. You catch me on motherfucking Twitter at Gross2312. And yeah, man, it's not about when going down people's resumes and seeing what they did at a lighter weight division and try to disintegrate them. It's about being in the weight division that you are in now, at 147. It's about trying to get those big fights with the Garcias of the world, with the Thurmans of the world, with the Pacquiaos of the world, with the Porters, with the motherfucking Spencers. That's what we really want. And got to say, I can't even get my fucking final thoughts off because niggas hate. Player haters ball, goddamn.
Yo, I used to hate it when Nelson used to do that.
It's no big deal, you know what I'm saying? I can forgive my boxing brother because I love this. This is a good guy. He's doing it for entertainment value. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this division, we want to see an undisputed champion. And there's only one way to get there. The best has to fight the best. And that's all for the sport of boxing.
Crawford need to lead by example then, because he ain't fighting the best.
You had your final thoughts. Pass it to motherfucking Enrique Church, legendary baby.
I thought you was done. I thought you was done when you said the best.
Yeah. If you ain't done, I ain't done.
You ain't hear how your voice sounded. It sounded like you was like,
you ain't done, I ain't done.
You was all calm, like the best fighting the best, and it was a pause. So then I jumped in and said Crawford ain't leading by example because he ain't fighting the best. Victor Postal wasn't the best. Felix Diaz wasn't the best. John Molina wasn't the best. Jose Benavidez Jr. damn sure wasn't the best. He was the best at, wearing that wooden leg. He knew how to get fly with that shit. You know what I'm saying? But Khan was also the best at getting knocked out. And even though, Crawford ain't doing a good job there, he punched him in the dick.
Anyway, I am TBV_casual fan. That's my Twitter and my YouTube handle. Catch me there. I think that the best are fighting the best this weekend. Shawn Porter versus Terrence Crawford. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we out. Peace.
Peace.
Deuce.